Arizona and Purdue each advanced. Alabama took the late game. UConn beat UCLA 73-57. Wins for Iowa State and Tennessee. They'll be facing each other next. In the women's NCAA's late night game in the second round, TCU at home in overtime beat Washington. In the NBA, the Washington Wizards have lost 16 in a row. They lost at New York 145-113. Knicks have won 6 straight. Minnesota won at Boston 102-92. NHL overtime wins for Anaheim and Calgary, for Colorado as well. And Tyler Reddick earned his 4th NASCAR win of the season in 6 races. I'm Steve DeSager.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Ladies and gentlemen.
All I know is you never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
What is it with you and this obsession with this varsity crap? Crap.
People come to us because we don't sell them on anything.
They can't refuse because of the implication.
You wonder ever you're a bad man? World needs bad men. We keep the other bad men from the door. Some things are a matter of duty.
The world's greatest radio show in Tennessee.
That doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough to dispute it.
And I was about to take advice from a clown who dives headfirst into the shallow end of the pool.
It's Talk Sports with John Reed and Cody McClure.
If it is to be said, so it be. So it is. So it is. So it is. So it is. If it's a Tennessee thing, well, I'm holding on.
Back at the booth, back on the airwaves, coming at you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. John Reed, no Cody McClure for the next couple weeks as he is on vacation with his mama as they are traveling the West Coast. But I still got Sam Beard, I got Bad News Bubba, and I got my boy Matt Salitsky, a.k.a. the artist formerly known as Intern Matty. We are kicking off this week a sweet week of Talk Sports. Happy Monday morning to you, wherever you may be listening. Maybe it's your lunchtime, maybe it's your evening. Salutes. The VOLS are still playing. It's a victory edition of Talk Sports. We'll talk a lot about that over the next 3 hours. Sam, top of the morning to you. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Great weekend of hoops. You kind of wake up and you're like, all right, when am I going to get my 14-hour fix of basketball again? And you just got to wait another week. But it is the most important that your team survives that, because it's not as fun to sit here and kind of have to talk about the rest of the fun that the other teams in the field are having if you're not in it. But it feels good to be back in that Sweet 16 yet again. You can feels like you can just put it in Sharpie with Rick Barnes these days.
Set your watch to it. Rick Barnes in March has a whole new meaning than it did 8, 9, 10 years ago. Rick Barnes in March now means he'll be playing in the second weekend. 4th straight year, Tennessee will be playing. And you're 100% right, Sam. Doing radio, you don't remember it. I don't think you had been in the biz 4 years ago. It was a bad feeling having to come in here and talk about the tournament when Tennessee wasn't in it. It was a really bad feeling to come in here and talk about it after Tennessee lost in the first weekend. So the last 4 years, we have gotten a little extra run out of this season. And this week is a pretty fun buildup. I know tonight might suck whenever you turn the TV on and there's no big basketball to watch, but I kind of like the reset and to get to breathe for a second and get to kind of celebrate the accomplishment. Bubba, Top of the morning to you, my friend. What's the news?
What's happening, John?
Just locked in, ready to do a radio show, brother. What about you?
Heck yeah, man. I'm alive, John. You know?
That's better than the alternative.
Can't complain about too many things.
Good.
About all I got.
Love that. Okay. Hope you had a good weekend. Maddie, my boy, top of the morning to you.
They said Bubba doesn't give much on the radio. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know that he really doesn't.
You know, but Bubba's like a diesel engine. You gotta let him rev up in the morning.
Sometimes the man doesn't have much to say. I mean, I spend my Friday nights, watching the game with the fellow fan run nation and people. Went out afterwards, talked with Cody. Don't know when he's going to come back. His words, not mine.
Did you say weeks?
He said after 2 weeks, but he's doing that thing where he's like, it might be a month or who knows. Hopefully.
He said April 6th, and he said, actually, I don't know, brother. It could be sometime. And I said, well, stay safe.
Told me Merry Christmas as I left the parking lot on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, all of that will be pretty annoying, but we'll see. We'll see.
Everything's good on my end. How sweet it is to be back in the Sweet 16.
That's all you know. Your life as a Tennessee fan.
That's all. No, not all I know. But,
I assumed you didn't start rooting for him until you decided to come to school here, but maybe I'm wrong in that.
You know what's interesting? It was always my second favorite team for no reason whatsoever except for the fact that I loved Grant Williams and I loved Rick Barnes. So about a quarter way through the Rick Barnes era, I started watching Tennessee basketball to the point where I knew what was going on and following it. But I think this year particularly, for it to happen the way it did yesterday, with all the immaturity and different struggles throughout the year, watching yesterday's game was particularly sweet.
It was a game that felt like a familiar script. Tennessee, in control of the game, and then you look up and that lead starts dwindling, evaporates altogether by the end of it. I mean, at the 2-minute mark, you are all of a sudden losing, and you said, "Oh God, we've blown another lead." And like I said, that was a familiar feeling. 5 double-digit leads we've blown this year, and I don't think this one got to double digits. I believe 9 was the highest I saw it, but we're not going to split hairs. It felt like a double-digit lead. It felt like you were in control of the game. And next thing you know, you looked up and you had completely gone into neutral, reverse at times it felt like. And Virginia just kept coming, and they're hitting big shots. Their crowd's into it. And I got to be honest, our guys looked like they had seen a ghost of 5 blown leads. Looked like it had shown up at the doorstep. But shout out to Nate Ament, able to put his head down, get you a couple buckets. Shout out to Gillespie and Boswell being able to do enough at the free throw line. And, shout out to the defense for making Virginia work. And shout out to that one guy for airballing the wide open 3 down 4 after down 5 after JP Estrella inexplicably left him wide open in the corner. I was screaming at the TV. Why? No! And then he airballed it. So all's well that ends okay. 79-72. A nice bow on the weekend.
Non-sports related topic here, but in my neighborhood this weekend, there was a yard sale, which typical in a neighborhood.
Sure.
But it's right at the top of the neighborhood. So as I left every single time this weekend, I went past it. It wasn't like a typical yard sale of here's, some old clothes I'm not using, or here's some fun artifacts I've got in my garage that I'm not really putting to good use. It was just like a Dollar General. They had
they went and got snacks.
Yeah, it was all of their things that they have stocked up on reserves, and they were just selling it off. It was wet wipes. They were selling tampons, paper towels. They literally just had a Dollar General out in their driveway.
Sam, I can tell you exactly what happens there. So it is penny shoppers where they find the markdown, clearance, and discontinued items, and then they're able to buy them for a penny each. So then they buy $2 worth, and then at that point, they have excess. So they're just hey, let's see if we can get back at least $1 or $2 from these items, and so they do that.
Those items seem very specific to what people would have to have during COVID that sold out pretty quickly. How do you know it's not left over from?
Nah,
from
because
COVID?
my sister's a penny shopper who does this.
Nice.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you buy it for a penny. You go out there, you sell it for $1. Hell, that's a pretty nice profit.
What is the profit margins on
99
that?
cents. You take $1.
No, I got that.
Penny.
I got that part. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you're closing up shop for the day. What is the net profit?
A lot of it's probably just being able to say you did something that day. A lot of it's probably just the feeling of getting out there and like meeting some people. And were they selling other stuff too? Were they selling clothes, Sam, or was it just a market?
It did not look like it.
Okay.
It just looked like soap. It just looked like you walk into Dollar General and they got that out in their driveway.
And it said garage sale.
That's what they viewed it as.
I thought maybe they were doing a little bit of both. Like, hey, you could come buy some clothes and some of our spare stuff, but also we got some essentials if you need that too. A little best of both world action.
I mean, I think I could have gotten school supplies there.
Come get an old used wooden clock that doesn't work, and while you're here, also pick up some wet wipes.
Everyone could use some wet wipes, some new pens and such. So I mean, just stop by. Did you buy anything? Did you gain scores?
No, I didn't.
Damn.
I did.
you gotta shop local, Sam.
I did really debate it.
You got to support local business, the local entrepreneurs. Okay.
It just felt like a little bit more of like a marketplace rather than a garage sale.
A marketplace.
Unrelated,
a little predatory.
Also predatory. I felt like an old man for the first time ever, in which a car decided to do a burnout in front of our house at like 11 p.m.
Oh, yeah?
And it was the most annoying thing. They stopped, they revved up their engine a couple times, and then you just hear,
and you walked outside with a wooden baseball bat and yelled at them to get a job.
No, I was like, if that guy comes back, I'm going to spike his tires with some thumbtacks or something.
I just always scream, hell yeah, good job, brother. Yeah, I love when you're sitting outside like in a restaurant or something, somebody tries to come out and rev their engine. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
What's the old man part?
Or just like, I normally appreciate the sound of an engine and just the freedom of the roads, but doing that like at the time I'm trying to sleep, I can't get with that, man.
Yeah. This was last night?
2 nights ago.
Now Bubba's like, it's bedtime. No more of this. Lights out at 10 o'clock. Be respectful. There's kids out here. I agree, Bubba. I agree.
Can you do that in your car?
No, my car does not make any noise at all. No. It's got, honestly, the worst part about that car is the horn.
I'm sure you could hack it.
I can't even like blow the damn horn loud enough. Like it's a very weak horn to the point where I feel pretty feminine even blowing the horn. So like I don't even do it.
I think you can definitely change your software to make noise.
Yeah, I think you could definitely get a custom horn if you want it.
Because I saw a video years ago where somebody put like the Super Mario that sound as the sound for
like
the
what?
Tesla.
When you have the star?
Oh, okay. You should have Rocky Top every time you blow it.
I just roll my window down and shake my fist. You damn kids. You ought to slow down. Yeah, it's a very weak horn. Very weak horn. I agree with you, Bubba. I had a good time watching the game with you on Friday. Me and Maddie played some pretty good darts. Pretty good duo there.
You were incredibly impressive down the stretch.
Took down Cody. We'll walk off.
Doesn't Cody claim to be just like the darts king?
Yeah, he was hurting.
Yeah.
Also tighter with Cody. Me and him are 1-1.
Yeah. We had a good time, though. It was fun winning. Friday, you just took care of business. You absolutely did. Shame on everybody who thought Miami of Ohio had anything for Tennessee. That game looked like we thought it would with a physical power conference team, a top 25 type team. Just it was like when the cops break in your door, they just get that little damn what do they call it? Knock knock. They usually write on it.
Battering ram.
Battering ram. There you go. Just continuing just to hit the door and bust it open. Just completely annihilate them. But then yesterday it was a worthy adversary with Virginia. We'll dive into that next. Coming up after the break, let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends should. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy.
As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
Hey, VOLS fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go VOLS.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you: Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
Good morning, Knoxville. I'm Aiden Sidoti, and this is your TalkSports update for Monday, March 23rd. Number 6, Tennessee basketball is Sweet 16 bound for the 4th straight year, taking down 3-seed Virginia 79-72 behind 21 points from Jacoby Gillespie. The Vols now turn their attention to 2-seed Iowa State on Friday night with an Elite 8 berth on the line. In the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves snapped their 18-game losing streak in Boston, knocking off the Celtics 102-92 at TD Garden as Bones Highland led the way with 23 points, handing Boston a rare home setback. And in NCAA tournament action, the defending national champs are out as 9-seed Iowa stunned 1-seed Florida 73-72 with Alvaro Folgueras drilling the go-ahead 3 with 4.5 seconds left to send the Gators home early. John and Cody, I hope your bracket is looking a lot better than mine. Thank you, Todd Golden. Back to you guys.
No, Aiden. No, my bracket's not looking very good anymore. We went into the evening last night with a solid position, but nothing in the nightcap went well for me. My UCLA Bruins, man, they were punching with UConn for a while. I thought they were going to get them. They didn't. That was a killer for me. That's going to pretty much knock me out of any contention. What about you, Maddie? How's yours looking?
I've dropped. I was doing really well for the week, and then I've just really taken a dive. I think a lot of it started with Wisconsin. That's really just killed my bracket. But yesterday just was not a good day. You actually surpassed me.
Mine was looking pretty good. Mine was looking pretty good up until, like I said, once UCLA lost, I'm pretty much cooked now. I went back and forth 3 times, as you can see here on my bracket, with St. John's and Kansas. I kept scratching it out and changing my mind. I did at least feel vindicated that it was a close game. It came down to a buzzer beater. I did feel like, I was on the wrong side of all of the, epic games. feel like I was on the wrong side of all of those. It's okay. Sam, what about yours? Yours is in pretty good shape right now.
Yeah, I'm looking good.
You're hovering around right there. I think I got it pulled up. You're in fourth.
Yeah, I still got the most max points left in the group, which is big.
That's nice. Oh yeah, you got really good max points. You're doing really good in that.
Iowa State was my pick to win it all, and their best player got hurt, obviously, in that first game of theirs. So makes my makes that pick a little bit worse. But yeah, I mean, some of the teams that have been eliminated, I didn't have them making huge runs.
I got bad news for Bubba. He might go from hero to zero. He might go from first place last year. He's sitting in dead last with a champion that's already eliminated, as he was the only one to pick the Florida Gators.
Yeah, we're cooked here, John.
Yeah, you're cooked. From first to last, maybe is where you're headed.
I'd have it no other way, though. I don't settle for mediocrity.
You wouldn't rather have won?
Well,
back-to-back years?
I would have rather won.
So you would have it another way. You would have it where you won.
Yeah.
Sam, I got to be honest. I was looking at yours last night, and I'm not going to call you a fraud, but I feel like on the radio you picked Virginia to beat Tennessee. I feel like you said we were going out in the second round.
I don't feel like I said that.
Okay, maybe
I
I'm wrong.
100% said that.
You 100% said it, Bubba?
Absolutely. I thought we were going to get just embarrassed.
I thought Sam had said it too, but maybe not.
I mean, I figured that was going to be a close game, obviously, but as you get into the brackets, it's hard to be like, yeah, I'm going to have my team lose in the round of 32.
Yeah.
Something hilarious, too.
Not for Brett Hollander. It was pretty easy for him to click it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's Brett to a T right there. I was one of the final 1,100 perfect women's brackets standing.
Oh, nice. All right, is it still perfect or no?
No, I lost one game.
Rats.
I think it's great Tennessee eliminated what was the final perfect bracket.
Really?
Yeah. There was one left, and because Tennessee had beaten Virginia, it knocked out the last and only bracket left.
On the men's side. So, yeah, okay. I didn't realize that. But, yeah, that's good. Go to hell. Guy who had a perfect bracket until he picked against the VOLS. Loser. Sam, you said you thought it'd be a close game, and it was. You know, at one point in the first half, Tennessee looked like they were going to run away with it. Then Virginia came back, and you're like, oh, no. But then I thought Tennessee over the last, 10 minutes of that first half really dominated. To the point that, Maddie, when we were only up 5 at halftime, it almost felt a little bit like a moral victory for Virginia that they were able to hang around because it felt like Tennessee dominated the half and you only had a 5-point lead. How did you feel at halftime going in there and what you saw from Tennessee? Because it seemed like Nate was still really struggling. I believe him and Gillespie had either 8 or 10 points only at halftime. Yep. And Virginia was hanging there with you right there, kind of neck and neck.
Oh, we talked about it all year, about the immaturity of this team. And aside from Nate, I thought in the first half, first few minutes were a little rough. Once you get into the deeper half of the first half, the defense was incredible. The pressure was incredible. And particularly the pressure from the bigs was outstanding. So that was huge. And to your point, going into the half, it almost seemed like Tennessee should have been up by 10. They should have been up by 20. And Virginia was still hanging around. So to your point about having a moral victory, yeah, for Virginia, they felt good. You have to play basketball for 40 minutes. And, if you look at the game as a whole, they played good basketball for 34 minutes. But it was that first half. It was the pressure. Nobody cared that both offenses weren't perfect. The defense fouled both teams. It was not great basketball. But that's the way Rick Barnes had it. Rick Barnes wouldn't have it any other way. So in that first half, I think you look at it and you say, okay, how can we figure out a way to now bring this momentum into the second half? But at the end of the day, there really wasn't that much momentum aside from what Bishop Boswell was doing, who didn't have a great second half.
No, Bishop Boswell, he was the story of the first half. Yep. He didn't have a great second half, but he did hit a pretty big shot to that rattled in, that pushed it from 3 to 6, and then he was able to get you a big free throw. So I thought he overall had as good of an offensive game as we can reasonably ask from him. Here on the show, I always say if he can give us 8 points, I feel pretty good about our chances. He gave you 13, and he was pretty big in that regard. Nate Ament came out of halftime and looked like second half Nate. I thought he gave you a lot. Now, with him, man, it's really frustrating watching just the brain lapses and watching the bad turnovers and watching Tennessee kind of freeze in the moment. I feel like, Sam, if you ask me, I would say over the last 10, 15 years, I don't know if I've seen a player at Tennessee get a sideline or, throw-in violation, a sideline baseline violation because they've ran the baseline when they're not supposed to. I don't know if we've ever really seen somebody do that in the last 10 or 15 years. Nate's done it multiple times this year. And it's just as brain dead of a play as you can have. And even in the one he had, he looked like he communicated with the ref. The ref's like, hey, stay put. And he starts moving and running, and they call a travel on him. And, that was when you were only up 2 points. It's turnovers like that, and then the team kind of starts spiraling as a whole. Nate Ament, to be as big as he is a really, really bad inbounder. If I'm Rick Barnes, which he tried that, he then swapped it out and put Gillespie inbounding the ball.
How'd that go?
And then he threw it to Ament, and I don't know if Ament quit running and didn't get all the way to the corner like he was supposed to, or if it was a bad pass or what. But for whatever reason, there was another turnover there, and Tennessee was just really, really limping to the finish line.
It's plays like that that's going to hurt his draft stock. It's not the make or miss shots. Everyone knows the talent. Everyone knows how good he can be. It's plays like that. And all year he's done that.
I don't know if it'll hurt his draft stock
100%.
Like overall, but it's going to hurt his perception with that team that drafts him. Like it's going to make that that NBA fan base not be super excited to have him. But on the other hand, he is just a freshman, and I'm not going to come on here and crush him for that mistake.
I will.
I'm upset with it. It's a bad mistake, but I was going to say,
why wouldn't you?
I'm not going to crush him for it because after Tennessee had lost the lead, he gave you, a big pair of free throws to put you back in the lead.
But if he hadn't?
Well, if he hadn't, we have a different conversation, but he did. He responded. Life, Maddie, as you get older, you realize life's about what happens when you get knocked down. And Nate Ament got knocked down, and he got back up and made a big play.
I don't disagree, but we are in March, okay? So you lose one game, you're out. If that had costed you the game, therefore costed you your season, we'd be having a much different conversation.
We would be. But another lesson you need to learn is that victory. When you're a winner, you get to have different rules. When you were a winner, what do they talk about this tournament? What's the famous tagline, Matthew? Survive and advance.
Yeah.
If you survive and advance, you can overlook a lot of the warts.
I look forward to seeing the same mistake next game because we decided not to bash him on air.
I don't think us bashing him on air is
but you get my point. If you don't address the issues and you don't see it for what it's worth, and in this case, possibly the difference in whether you advance or not, then there's no point of having the conversation to begin with.
Well, hopefully Rick Barnes is showing him in film like, hey, Nate, we can't do this. Enough's enough. Or maybe we just take him out of inbounding. I don't know. But I always say, Matthew,
well either.
I always say this. I would rather learn my lessons in victories than in defeats. So, like, if you make mistakes in losses, like Nate Ament would have to live with that. And, like, his perception in this fan base would probably go down to the point where, like, when you think of Nate Ament, you would think about the gaffes at the end of games in the tournaments. That might have been his legacy.
You can see it, can't you?
Say that again?
Can't you see it?
See what?
You can see the hatred in Tennessee fans. Had he cost the team the season just because of that turnover, they had scored, they had
sure,
whatever, right?
Sure.
You could see every time you say Nate Ament, you're going to think about that one play.
Sure.
Forget the season, forget his NBA career, forget anything that's happened before that or after that. You're going to always remember that one play as a Tennessee fan, and it will always go down as the biggest mistake in maybe the Rick Barnes era, given how well the team is playing right now.
Maybe Lamonte Turner fouling Carson Edwards in the corner against Purdue would still take that one.
Was pretty good back then.
But instead, I would look at that and say that Nate Ament, I'm going to remember the big block where he completely destroyed and volleyball spiked the guy's shot. And I'm going to remember him coming up in the clutch and also on the rebound that he spiked off of Bishop Boswell's head that went off Virginia that got Tennessee the ball. Those are the plays I'm going to choose to remember instead.
You be good cop. I'll be bad cop.
we can be bad cop after a loss. I'm going to celebrate a victory. Sam, how do you feel about Nate Ament's performance yesterday? Because I'm chalking it down to a sloppy but gutsy clutch performance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're still wanting more consistency out of the guy, but yeah, I mean, you saw it kind of at the start of the second half. I thought he was going out there and was being aggressive and was helping Tennessee make winning plays. But I don't know. I mean, I just think that's something that you'd hope maybe just another week of rest on that ankle. I still think that's something that's kind of bothering him just in the back of his mind a little bit. And maybe that's kind of hindering a little bit of his performance, just being able to go out there and be 100%. But I don't know. I think you got to feel good. I know that, you'd like to get more out of your 5-star freshman in a win, but I think the fact that you started to get a couple games in a row now where Gillespie has just looked like a guy that can kind of just take you the distance in March. I think that's just a really important factor here, just knowing that I think Nate's going to put it together at some point in one of these games, and the fact that you've got Jacoby kind of getting out of that slump at the right time. You get a huge game from Boswell, and that front court just continues to work. I think you're kind of knocking on the door. You're just hoping that it comes together here in this next week.
The point about Gillespie, I think, is the biggest point. We had talked about that in Nashville. I said, hey, I don't think we're going to win the SEC championship. I don't really care about winning the SEC championship. I didn't want to play 4 games in a row. And don't get me wrong, the loss to Vanderbilt sucked, and it was very frustrating. And you saw some of these faults, rear their heads. But I said the most important thing to me is don't let Nate Ament get further hurt, and hopefully find the shooting stroke for Jacoby Gillespie. He went 3 of 7 from 3 against Vanderbilt. He hit those 2 back-to-back threes that looked like it was going to blow the game open in Nashville, where you got, I think, a 6-point lead, and you thought you might go off and get running. Hell, it might have even been an 8-point lead. But he found his shot a little bit. And then now, so far in the tournament, you've seen him go 9 of 16. So if you look at the last 3 games, he has 12 of 23 from 3. That's 52%. You compare that, Sam, to like we'd been counting the 4 games previous. You go ahead and throw an 0-2 in against Auburn. He was really, really struggling, from 3 in the lead up to the SEC tournament. Now, all of a sudden, he's shooting the ball pretty good. He is progressing to the mean. You constantly hear regressing to the mean whenever somebody is outperforming their averages. Right now, he is progressing back to being that 40% shooter, and he's really hot, and he's giving Tennessee's offense a weapon they haven't had in a while, and a weapon that can, get hot and carry a team in March Madness. We see it every year. Right now, you kind of have a guard who is shooting the ball that way.
I know we kind of hate the guy too, but I thought Jalen Carey honestly had some pretty big minutes with Estrella in foul trouble.
I thought so too. I thought it was a really bad, first 30 minutes of the game for JP Estrella. Now, I thought Estrella made some big plays, including a really, really clutch, baseline fadeaway jumper. I thought Estrella made plays down the stretch, but no.
Terrible shot.
Credit where it's due. Credit where it's due to Jalen Carey. He played well offensively. Kind of ironically enough, my only complaints about Jalen Carey yesterday was my brother, please get a rebound. And mostly on the defensive end. Rebounding's been the thing you could rely on for most of this year. But yesterday he had the offensive game going, and I thought he was really struggling on the defensive glass. But you probably don't win those games without his 10 points. So credit where it's due for Jalen Carey there.
Did you hear the rebounding stat they said on air about how much Tennessee rebounds their misses?
Yeah, no, we've talked about it here. I've called them a historically great offensive rebounding team. They're
maybe the greatest of all. I've never heard a stat like that.
It said they're the 3rd team since the year 2000 to get at least 45% of their offensive rebound opportunities.
That would imply that they have a almost near 50% chance to grab an offensive rebound every time after a minute. That's unreal.
Now, I do give Virginia credit yesterday because it felt like Virginia did a pretty good job of limiting Tennessee on the offensive glass. There were 30 rebounding opportunities for Tennessee on offense, and they only got 11 of them. Now, that's still a pretty good number for most teams, but yeah, for a historically great team that's been doing it, that was a little underwhelming. But Virginia, I give them credit that they played pretty tough. Go ahead, Bubba.
So, kind of going back to Jalen Carey. One thing I thought he did, which it could have just been a couple of small times and it doesn't really add up over time, but I think his ability to draw fouls especially with guys like their big guy Grunlow, however you say his name. I think that was pretty huge in hindsight because then it forces their DeRitter guy, their all-star guy, to keep being out there more and more.
And to have to play defense in the post and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, Carey was important yesterday. Now, I did think that at times that Rick Barnes was maybe trolling me because I've been like, hey, please go small. And then he finally went small in the first half, and it was with Jalen Carey at center. I'm like, okay, there's no rim protection here. This isn't going to work. And then he immediately pulled the plug and didn't go small again. But, no, again, credit where it's due. Those 10 points were pretty big, including a nice little Virginia's going to completely not guard you 10 feet away from the rim, and he took a dribble and kind of hit a little push shot. They were not guarding him at all. They said, nope, go ahead, buddy. But he was able to, turn something good out of that. So I give Carey credit offensively. Again, defensively, I was a little frustrated at the lack of defensive rebounds, which led to one of the worst shooting fouls I've ever seen late in that game. They called a foul on Carey rebounding, which I don't even know if he fouled on the rebound. But then they gave Virginia 2 free throws because of it, and those were 2 crucial free throws. Did that tie the game or cut it to 2? It was one of the 2. I couldn't remember, but it was very frustrating seeing that happen. But when things started spiraling for Tennessee, they really got spiraling. But you had enough guys. Maddie, you called it a bad shot, and when JP Estrella was taking it, I don't know if I loved it, but it was one of those that if you make it, it's a good shot, and he made it. And Estrella was really bad for 30 minutes of game time, but I thought he was pretty good the final 10.
Your job is to be good cop. My job is to be bad cop. It's plays like that down the stretch that leads to the immaturity we've seen all season. You cannot, down the stretch, continue to make boneheaded plays. It's Gillespie, whose performance last night is now expected the rest of the way. He's been in this position before, right, with Maryland, and now this is what he's been, told he's got to do, but brought here to do in the first place, is to have these games where he doesn't need to go 4 for 5 every night from 3, but he does have to run the floor as efficiently as he did. He does have to defend the way he did, and he does have to get the ball to the places it has to be. The biggest thing in the first half, especially Jalen Carey and the other bigs, was they got the paint offense early. They were so good in the paint, and it allowed for the threes for Boswell. It allowed for the threes for Gillespie, and it opens up the game. It allows you to get out early, but it also allowed Tennessee down the stretch to see more until they got to the second half, and then they struggled in the paint. But it's the plays like Ament made and Estrella made where you just cannot have down the stretch, because if he had missed that, we'd be having a much different story on the air.
20 assists on 26 field goals, 15 by your 2 lead guards. Boswell was awesome last night. 9 assists for him. The 3-pointers are going to, be the story, especially the 3 in the first half. Now, Virginia was kind of leaving him open and daring him to shoot. But he came out, he hit the first 3, and then he missed probably the next 4, and it felt like, maybe don't take those shots anymore. But he kept shooting, and he ended up hitting another big one. Those will be what you remember, him playing the air guitar after hitting the 4th one. But the 9 assists, Sam, I thought were, very crucial to Tennessee's offense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been talking about it for a month or 2 now. Tennessee looks like a much more complete team whenever you get, those good games out of Bishop, whether it's scoring, whether it's impacting the game, on the glass, or, in this case, getting 9 assists in this one, I think was huge, and just kind of being a guy that felt like Virginia in that defensive game plan just kind of said, hey, we're going to let Bishop Boswell beat us, and if that's the case, then so be it. And fortunately for us, we're sitting here talking about a win in that case.
And I'll always want to come and talk about a win. Boneheaded plays, frustrating plays, be damned, whatever. Survive and advance. That's the way I view it, and I'm choosing to look at the gutsy plays. Now, I will say the turnovers in the second half. I mean, you played a really, really super clean first half. I believe you got to halftime with only 1 turnover. Mm-hmm. You came out and you turned the ball over at least 9 times in the second half. I believe you finished with 10, but it felt like even more. You're not going to be able to survive doing that against Iowa State. Iowa State is going to pressure the hell out of Tennessee, and Tennessee is going to have to be much more like they were in the first half of this game than they were in the second half. because Iowa State completely cut the water off on Kentucky. Like they bullied their guards and just kept taking the ball away from them. That's what they're going to try to do to Tennessee on Friday night. Nate Ament, Jacoby Gillespie, Bishop Boswell, those guys are going to have to be strong with the ball if Tennessee is going to have a chance to get to a third straight Elite Eight. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. Stick with us. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
Check out exclusive Fan Run video content on YouTube. Just search Fan Run Sports and be sure to like and subscribe.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Hey, it's Russell Smith here for ECR Total Landscapes. I had the ECR crew out to my house last year to remove multiple trees on my property, and I couldn't be more satisfied with the work they did. Not only did they cut down several trees that were too close to my house, they also grinded the stumps and cleaned up the work site, leaving my yard looking better than before. Take it from me, if you've got a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree that's threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Do what I did. Call ECR Total Landscapes for a free estimate. Tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. 865-384-2012. That's 865-384-2012. Your local tree cutting experts. These guys get the job done. Check out their website, ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
There are a few things more helpless as a sports fan than when you're really rooting for your team at home and then they go to video review and like the announcers just start gaslighting you, because that's how I felt last night, because I thought that ball was clearly, especially live, I clearly thought the out of bounds that Nate Ament spiked off of Bishop Boswell's head was off Virginia.
Those announcers were morons.
They were so bad. And I got to be honest, I'm glad I bought my ticket. I'm headed to Chicago for the Sweet 16. And if I didn't have a ticket already or plans to go, I would make plans, because I saw that they're the announced team for the Friday night game.
Felix Ahakapara.
Yeah, you're going to get those guys again. Now, I would imagine that somebody's going to get in that guy's ear and be like, hey, you got to get these guys' names right. He was messing everybody's name up. It wasn't just like Parra. He was making mistakes on other VOLS, I thought. I think he couldn't say like Boswell either. Like he was messing something else simple up. But I felt so gaslit because I was like, this ball is clearly out on Virginia. But then I started seeing the replays and I'm like, I swear it is, but like it's not maybe as clear. I could see the guy from Virginia's finger moving, but the announcers keep saying it didn't. Yeah. So I was like, what the hell are the refs going to say? Which credit, by the way, to Dallin Hall after the game from Virginia. He at least was like, no, I knew the ball hit me. Like, it was very clear that it hit me. I knew that, but hope maybe we would get the call. They didn't. I would like to think that the refs would have awarded Tennessee the basketball, even if it was a Tennessee challenge, although I doubt they would have. I would imagine they would have said the call would have stayed. So credit to the refs, I guess, for getting it right live on the court, because otherwise that would have been a really, really, really big missed call. And keep in mind, Tennessee wouldn't have had a timeout to challenge because Rick Barnes was burning through those timeouts last night. Maybe it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing for Rick Barnes, but I was like, man, we are wasting these timeouts, huh? We are really mowing through these timeouts, and I was frustrated because the last one got took because you took Nate Ament off the court again for a defensive substitution, which I don't understand. I understand putting Amari Evans on the floor whenever you're trying to protect a three-pointer. I don't understand taking Nate Ament off the court. So we had to burn the last time out to get him back on the court. In a game, keep in mind, that we were really struggling to inbound the ball. So that was frustrating. But luckily you were, at half court over on the side, and they didn't really pressure the inbound. You were able to easily get it in. And then you tried your post up in the high post with Nate Ament, and man, they completely swarmed him, and he was going to have a really bad turnover. But credit to Bishop Boswell for being able to get there and beat them to the ball and get fouled.
Talked about the turnovers on the baseline and the inability to get the ball in. We didn't talk about the two bad fouls Nate had in the first half, especially that second one.
Yeah, second one was brutal.
Right? Unnecessary and unacceptable now that we're in March. But also, on the play we just talked about, what was he doing? Who smacks the ball like a volleyball down the stretch in desperate need for a rebound and thought, let me spike it because that's the best course of action. Fortunately, it worked out.
It is
But
weird.
if it didn't, what would you have said?
You see the tip outs, typically those are high, like getting into the backcourt. You very rarely see just a volleyball spike. I don't know what he was going for other than, Maddie, I don't know if you're a hockey fan at all.
Yeah.
But, it felt like, the ball's just in front of the net. You just got to clear the ball. Like, when you're trying to, ice it and get it out of the zone. Like, that's what it felt like to me, was just, hey, the worst case scenario is giving up an offensive rebound here and they get a putback. So I'm just going to spike it and get it out of there. I'm going to clear it out of the zone. That's the only thing that made sense to me, but it worked.
I'm going to keep using this word, immaturity. It's what it is. It's what it is. This kid's going to get killed in Summer League. Killed.
I don't think we're worried about what Nate Ament does in Summer League, but I will say that he made some clutch free throws.
We still got a big old game Friday night.
No, I know. How are you getting to Chicago Friday?
Flying.
No,
Flying.
But like what airline?
Oh, I'm a Delta man.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I'm a Delta man.
That's nice.
So I'll take a little connector from Knoxville. I don't know if they're
got to get there 12 hours early.
I don't know if they're sending me to Atlanta.
Are you missing the show?
No, the show will be done. The game's not till 10:10, brother. I don't know if you saw.
Well, I
this.
don't know how you operate in terms of you like to get there early, settle into the hotel, get to the Delta Lounge.
The game's not till 10:10.
You're a Delta Lounge guy.
I am a Delta Lounge guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, the game's not till 10:10 p.m. and that's scheduled tip time. So with the first game running over, it'll probably be more like 10:20, 10:30. Although I gotta say, Sam, this was I think it's a feather in the cap for the idea that the 6 seed was actually superior to the 4 or 5 seed. Now that we're here in the Sweet 16, now Alabama got to, completely dismantle Texas Tech. But now that you're able to win, Tennessee has a better draw, I would say, going up against Iowa State than Alabama does going up against Michigan. I think the early line has Alabama as 10-point dogs, and we're 4.5 or so. Mm-hmm. So now that you're here, the 6 seed getting to play the 2 seed is, I think, advantageous to playing a 1 seed. Now maybe Nebraska feels pretty good getting to play Iowa, but all the other 1 seeds advanced.
I love that game.
Iowa, Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of gross that one of them is going to be like in the Elite Eights, but man, like Nebraska, Vanderbilt was maybe the game of the tournament. That one was really fun.
Their fans are just incredible too. They broke the Thunder's decibel record in their own stadium.
Really?
Talk about just fraud NBA. Game 7 of the finals gets beaten by round of 32 Vanderbilt, Nebraska.
I think it's more fraud decibel reader is what I'm going to guess there, because I'm going to say that like those Oklahoma City crowds, maybe not even the finals, but the ones back in the day when they first got there with like Durant and Westbrook, those were always super, super loud. So I'm going to say that's not the actual decibel record. But credit to Nebraska. They did show up and show out. And I don't think I fully took that into account when I was making my bracket, because I don't think I would have picked Vanderbilt to have won in that hostile environment. But even with that hostile environment, they played a classic game. And with Iowa, man, like maybe Iowa basketball, if I was a Hawkeye fan right now, I would say I think we have like Kurt Signetti. I think that's how I would feel about Ben McCollum. It's like, hey, we got one of those guys that could completely change the way your program is viewed, because I won't act like I was on top of it, but whenever they started showing his accolades after the game, I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy's just a winner. This guy's just a killer. This guy's just successful everywhere he goes. And he won championships at D2. Then he gets to Drake and immediately turns them into a winner. And then he gets to Iowa and he has them in the tournament. Yep, he just might be Kurt Signetti.
One of my buddies played Ben McCollum's D2 school in Missouri, and he said Ben McCollum is the biggest trash talker on the floor. He talks trash to everyone on the court, on the opposing team, the opposing coaches, the opposing bench, like all game long.
That's kind of how I feel about Kurt Signetti. Like Kurt Signetti is a jerk. So like he is a mean man. Like I kind of feel like you might need that, especially if you're one of those guys that has to come up from the small ranks to show that you belong. I kind of like that even more.
That's how I'd be if I was a coach.
Well, if I was a coach that was winning championships and like dominating D2 and it took them 15 years to come get me out of Northwest Missouri State, yeah, I think I'd have a chip on my shoulder too.
When do we find out if Joshua Jefferson will be available?
I would imagine, Maddie, that would be a game time decision. I would imagine they're going to take that all the way to the end. And, if you're Iowa State, you get the most possible time to get him healed, as you are the last game on Friday. So, I mean, like, it is the final game of the Sweet 16. You're getting the maximum amount of time, which is good for them. Also probably good overall for Nate Ament as well.
Well, how does it affect how Tennessee scouts, or I should say at least prepares?
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is there. I think if I'm Rick Barnes, obviously you're doing a little bit of both. But I think if it's me, we're just all week, with or without Jefferson, we are focused on handling ball pressure, because they're going to be after our guards. And ultimately, that's what we can control. That's what I would do. Sam, do you think he plays? It looked like a pretty bad injury he had. It looked like a pretty bad sprain, not one that you could really get better in a week on.
I'd be pretty surprised if he plays, or at least just like playing enough to be as impactful as he's been all season for him.
Yeah.
Even if he practices, it works in Iowa State's favor to make him a game-time decision, so you keep Tennessee on their heels. They have a tough time preparing, and you get into a game where you don't really know until the last few minutes, and you're kind of wondering, okay, how are we going to play today?
He's an NBA prospect, but only in the sense of like he's a second-round projection from mostly what I've seen.
They're like, I think it was CBB Analytics or something like that. He said that Iowa State's essentially like the best offense in the country when he's on the floor, and they drop to like something in the hundreds whenever he's off the floor.
Yeah, and to be fair, I was mostly saying that the NBA prospect stuff to actually make the opposite point of like he's probably cares about his college career more. Like it's not like you sit out the Sweet 16 game to protect your draft stock when you're like a mid-second round pick. Like was really the point I was going for there. Because, he is a college stud. He's a Draymond Green type of player in terms of just impacting winning and, like, being a second-round draft prospect. But, like, he is a really good college player. Really, really good. I don't know quite what I meant with the Draymond Green stuff. Mostly it's just like a top-of-the-second-round pick is what I was going for there. because that's kind of where he's projected. Let's check in on the YouTube chat. Let's see how the freaks are feeling, because we know they run a little negative.
Not like me.
Well, I was going to say, Maddie, up first, we got Normie Jeans writing in, just now tuning in, but love how stoked Maddie is. We can tell the excitement is radiating off of negative Maddie over here.
Yeah. Negative. Honest Maddie.
Honest Maddie.
Honest. Authentic. Yeah. No artificial over here.
Now here comes Buck. Here comes old Eeyore. I watched this game. Had to be the absolute greatest basketball game ever played. We have the greatest coach, team, and university in North America. I can see this team winning the next 3 national championships. Okay, Buck. You're laying it on a little thick there.
Little.
And just to be fair, just to clarify, I don't think neither Sam nor Bubba nor I, definitely not Maddie, are acting as if this is the greatest team in the country, or that we're going to win a national championship this year, or even make a Final Four. I don't think any of us are saying that. I'm not saying we're going to beat Iowa State. Sam had Iowa State winning the national championship. Now, I know that was with Jefferson playing, but I imagine, Sam, you probably still feel like we're going to struggle with their pressure, because that was part of the reason you thought Iowa State was going to dominate us.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's a much more gettable game now, obviously, without Jefferson.
Oh yeah, 100%. And if they played like they played against the Kentucky for the full game, we probably lose. But if they played more like they did in the first half, Tennessee will have a chance. Bubba, I don't know how you're leaning, but you picked Virginia to beat Tennessee, so I don't know if you're going to hop on the bandwagon and think we're going to beat Iowa State. I don't think any of us are acting that way yet. Now, give me until Friday. I might change my mind. I might get fired up, but no. What we're doing is just celebrating a gutsy win, and I think celebrating, 4 straight Sweet 16s, because that's an accomplishment for Tennessee. Maddie, you might not remember a life of Tennessee basketball when the Sweet 16 was a really big deal, but a Sweet 16 is a really big deal, and 4 straight is a huge accomplishment for this basketball program.
I think I acknowledge as much as anybody here how sweet it is. I think it's even more sweet now that Florida's out. For me personally, as a Florida hater of all rivalries that Tennessee has, Florida's number one to me. But in my time at Tennessee, yes, you're correct. All I've known is Sweet 16s, but I was a fan before. So this age attack.
No, it wasn't that. As you said, you hopped on. You said you became a Tennessee fan with Grant Williams. I mean, that's when Tennessee went to the Sweet 16.
Schofield,
right, those teams went to the Sweet 16. I'm just saying, so from that on,
I know the history.
We've made a lot of Sweet 16s.
Of this team. I know what happened before.
I'm just saying this basketball program, we still celebrate Sweet 16s. Now we want to go further. Are we? I think we were one of 2 teams to make 4 straight Sweet 16s. I believe Alabama would also fit that criteria, right? So I believe it's us, Houston, and Alabama, the only 3 teams that have made 4 straight Sweet 16s. So that's a pretty big accomplishment. So yeah, Buck, aka Eeyore, we're gonna celebrate that and feel pretty good about it. Now, I still got things to clean up, like Maddie's been talking about. You're gonna have to play a lot better if you're gonna beat Iowa State, for sure.
A lot better.
But hey, you get a whole week to come up with a new game plan and come out and play a really good 40 minutes and maybe make a 3rd straight Elite 8. That'd be pretty cool too. Hour 1 in the books. We'll continue the conversation with Hour 2. Who's on headlines duty? P-Team, you guys got it? Bubba, you got headlines?
Sure.
Bubba, you got headlines? Okay. Maybe Maddie will help you if you need help, but we'll figure it out. Hour 2 coming at you. Stick with us right here on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee football. Fans. Fan Run Radio.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Hey, VOLS fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go VOLS.
Surfside is made with vodka, real tea, and real juice, and has only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right. No bubbles, no troubles. That's why Surfside was named the 2025 Spirit Brand of the Year by MarketWatch. Their variety packs come with options: iced tea, lemonade, or green tea. Find your flavor by trying them all. Surfside, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older to enjoy. Party smart.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Don't be quick to judge, okay? When I say this out loud, it's going to sound rough at first. But was there any part of you that was hoping Bevo would stick it with the horn?
You're listening to Talk Sports.
Sticking with the horn?
Yeah. Stab with the horn.
He's a dog.
Airing every day
from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
You wanted to see Uga get stabbed on live television?
Whoa. I never said I wanted to see it. I asked you if any part of you did.
No. Zero part of me did.
Zero?
This is the sickest.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Any part of you, thumbs up from Ben Lee. Parker? Quick thumbs up from Parker.
You people are sick and disgusting.
On 1340 WKGN.
There wasn't a little part of you that wanted to see, just get stuck a little bit.
Stabbed by a horn. No part of me wanted to see that.
Hour number 2 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Drink the lights, refreshing White Claw Hard Seltzer. Drink it responsibly. Let's tag team some Hour 2 headlines. What do you got, boys?
Off, we have some sad local news here, as according to the Pat Summitt Foundation, Pat Summitt's sister Linda had Atterbury passed away. She was 67. This comes in, where a new Pat documentary is scheduled to debut Wednesday.
Yeah, Robin Roberts is putting out this documentary, correct?
Yep.
Is that on Wednesday? I believe you said Wednesday, and was it on Hulu?
I did not see the platform, but okay. I believe it is Hulu.
I think it's Hulu. I'll be tuned in for that. And Robin Roberts is, she comes from a sports background before going to Good Morning America. I mean, she's about as good of a person that could put something together for Pat Summitt. So I imagine it's going to be a 10 out of 10.
In pop culture news, Reacher and Blue Mountain State star Alan Richardson allegedly beats up neighbor in front of youngsters in a Nashville neighborhood.
That I was going to go with that headline. You stole that from me. It also
We're a
is in
team.
Tennessee.
We're a team.
Ah, fine.
So what happened? He beat up some kids?
Apparently, he was riding his motorbike, and the neighbor reportedly flipped him the bird, and Richardson returned the favor, and then things got out of hand as words were exchanged, and then eventually a conflict.
Why are you laughing over there? It's fun. It's
just a
serious
crazy
matter.
escalation.
It's a
So
serious matter.
the TMZ has the video because, of course, they do.
Yeah.
Of him. Oh, there he goes wrecking his bike now.
Yep.
So he's given somebody the business. That person he's punching in the ribs looks to be like the dad, maybe.
The person he's punching is the guy, the neighbor, who came out and was pissed about him riding through and disturbing the peace with the bikes.
Okay. So it's nobody's parents or anything.
No, but he flipped. He gave the this Taylor guy, the neighbor. The
Oh,
bird.
okay. At
That's
first,
kinda how it started.
Okay, at first I thought he was mad. Okay.
Yeah.
At first I thought he was.
Mind you, he did this in front of his two children.
Okay, at first I thought he was arguing with the children, and then this dad came out. But now I see they're in a motorcycle gang together, and this dad's mad about the way they're zooming. So then he beats this guy up in front of his kids,
Right.
which is kind of funny.
Which is, by the way, this is in Tennessee too. So,
Yeah.
local news.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to get sued, get in trouble for this. But good headline, Bubba.
That's what happens when you mess with Thad Castle.
Did you know who that was beforehand?
If you had told me, if you had said the name Alan Richardson, no. If you had told me the guy from Reacher, yes. Like I could picture what he looks like whenever you say that, but I did not know him by name.
Good actor.
We have some controversy on the LPGA Tour as Annabelle Fuller of England wore a crop top that received negative backlash, except for the modern-day golf influencers like Paige Spiranek.
Okay.
And then lastly, for me, Joe Burrow said he wants to play in the Olympics as he was a part of the Fanatics Flag Football Classic.
I think I would be very upset with this if I was a Cincinnati Bengals fan.
Where Team USA took on teams of NFL past and present players and other influencers. Team USA cooked them. They went 3-0, and everybody else kind of fell in between.
Yeah, the quote-unquote NFL teams got dominated, which some of the footage is pretty funny. I mean, like Jalen Hurts throwing an interception while Logan Paul trolls him. Logan Paul deflects a pass and knocks it in the air and calls him a bum. That's kind of funny. Joe Burrow throwing a pick six, pretty funny. Tom Brady dropping an absolute dime in the back of the end zone. I saw that one. That one was kind of cool. But just like the Team USA wide receivers just like slipping and sliding their way through the defense, that's kind of impressive.
How did this many teams like sign off on their players playing in this?
They might. It made me wonder if they didn't have a say, but like you would think they would, like be able to tell them
Of
no.
course they have a say.
Yeah, like why would they do that? If
They're
you're the Bengals,
contractually obligated. Of course they have a say.
but if you're the Bengals, why would you allow that to happen? Because like usually there's offset language.
I mean, if I'm the Commanders, why am I letting Jaden Daniels, who has a history of injury right now, play too?
No, I know. Like, well, Joe Burrow has a history of injury too. Like, yeah, like why? Is it because like Tom Brady has that much pull and like Fanatics is a partner and like they pretty much had to do it for their partner? Is that why? Like,
Well, it's also weird too because coaches were part of it. Because apparently Wildcats FFC, who Burrow played for, was coached by Shanahan and Rob Saleh.
really?
Yeah.
And like Burrow's like spinning and like diving into the end zone and stuff. I mean, it wasn't like they were going half speed. But maybe like the NFL, maybe the NFL is incentivized to try to make flag football a thing. Maybe they want this Olympic thing to actually be a success and to try to grow the game internationally. Football is, the same conceptually. You throw the ball, you catch the ball, you run. But like the actual sport on TV does not look anything similar. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look like the same at all. So I don't know if you're going to have the dream team effect of sending the biggest stars to the Olympics to play football and then all of a sudden, have everybody watching the NFL. I don't know if it'll have that same effect because flag football and 11-on-11 is just so different.
Maddie, I'm sure you'll be happy to know that Damar Hamlin was a part of Founders FFC.
Yep. Thank you for that.
Of course.
Yep. Sam?
Hawkeye Insano says that he will shove a Ponchero's burrito up of his you-know-what if Iowa won.
If they won yesterday?
Yep. So Hawkeye Insano, you are on the clock officially.
He was going to do that just for a Sweet 16 appearance.
Just for a Sweet 16 appearance.
Now,
just beating Florida.
I feel maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I feel like people usually say that for something they don't want to happen. This guy was like, "Hey, if my team wins a big game, I'm going to do this to myself."
We need to stop with people putting random objects inside themselves after one of their teams wins.
Yeah, like eat a hat was good. Eat the horse poop was good. Sticking stuff inside of you sounds like he's just got a fetish. It sounds like he just wants to do this.
Yeah, maybe.
And we're not even going to get to see the payoff. Like when we get to see somebody eat a hat, we could watch that on camera. I don't want to watch this guy shove anything inside of him.
Bill Self, after their loss yesterday, said that he needs to feel, quote, good and healthy before committing to Kansas next season. 63 years old. He has been at the helm with the Jayhawks for 23 seasons now, but he missed a couple games this past year, obviously, with some of the heart issues that he had and some other health concerns. So Bill Self, I mean, you would guess after a loss like that, probably a little uncommittal on your future, but definitely a big name to monitor around.
That's very Darren Peterson of him to be wishy-washy about his Kansas career. I would be surprised if he came back, just because I feel like I'm surprised he was still coaching this year. Like I feel like he needs to hang it up.
Yeah.
But shout out, like, hey, there's, we talk about college basketball, getting rid of all the old guys. The old guys still flourishing. Not so much Bill Self, but Patino and Barnes and Sampson. Those guys still getting it done. Moving on, there's still some old coaches there that are being able to be successful.
This one is wild. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Celtics in Boston for the first time since 2005.
You only get one shot a year.
Hold on. Did you see the post game where he's standing? But it's Bones Highland standing doing a post game interview with, I think it's Carmelo, Tracy. Who's their report? Taylor Rooks? Is it Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
And then, or maybe it's Maria. I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know who it is. And then some other former NBA player, and he's the shortest one there by a mile. All four of them, including I think it's Rooks, are towering over him. Maybe it's Maria Andrews.
There is no Maria Andrews.
No, who's the
Maria Taylor?
Maria Taylor. Yeah, they're all four of them. It's pretty funny.
Short King.
Yeah.
Celtics have been struggling a little bit since Jason Tatum came back. It's probably one of those things. If you're Boston, you're fine with biting the bullet on some regular season games to hopefully get him acclimated and ready to go for the playoffs. But their offense has kind of went in the tank. And as they're trying to figure out, is it Tatum's team? Is it still Jaylen Brown's? What do we do here?
Yeah, it's Brown's team. Let's be very clear. It's Brown's team.
It probably should be for the rest of this year, but if you're Tatum.
No, the general public, it's Tatum's team. But from an on-court standpoint, it's Brown's team.
Well, it should be this year because Tatum coming back from injury and Brown had him rolling. Brown was playing at an all-NBA level, but this is what usually leads to breakups whenever the second star gets a taste of being number one and does it pretty good. Now, all of a sudden, he's not going to want to go back to being number two.
Does Cody listen, you think, to the show?
No.
Right? Oh, I had a headline for him.
He's not up early enough.
Damn. All right. Sam?
Kevin Durant, 5th all-time scorer in NBA history now, passes Michael Jordan.
What game did he do that
Poor
in?
Jordan. Can't be top 5 in anything. Oof. That's tough. Completely passed by everybody. Brutal. He did it against Miami.
Yeah.
In a game that Miami gagged away.
Yep.
Well, not really. Miami had made a big comeback, and then
they gagged it away.
I don't really call it a gag. They got a steal and got a layup with 10 seconds left to go up 1, and they got beat on a buzzer beater tip-in. It is what it is.
3 jobs on the last play: guard the inbound, guard the play, get the rebound. They did 2.
They failed the 3rd one.
Yeah, failed it.
And lastly, in honor of Cody, Leonid Radvinsky, the owner of OnlyFans, has died.
Oh, that's 2. It's 2 today.
You got to take the shot, brother. You're pump faking. You said you had a headline for him. You should have gave it. So this guy died at what age?
43. Cancer, they said.
Oh, okay.
I love that you said in honor of Cody, because that's exactly where I was going. Thank you.
That's
fantastic.
Tough. To say how much money he had?
Probably a lot.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. Like, I didn't know if they're like a billionaire. I mean, is he a billionaire? Is he in the B club with OnlyFans? Is he getting rich off of all these creators? That's pretty.
I would guess. It said it delivered him over $700 million in dividends last year alone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, worth up to $8 billion.
Hopefully, it doesn't slow down app performance. Or is it not an app? Is it just a website?
Jerry Heller would be very impressed at the way this guy was able to get rich off the backs of everybody else. This is good. Good for him. But I mean, not good for him. RIP. The $700 million in dividends was good for him, but damn, that's tough. All right. Bub, anything else we need to hit?
Luka Doncic
continues just
able to play at Detroit after the NBA rescinds his one-game suspension after his 16th technical foul.
Yeah, they took the last one away because he said that a player from the Magic basically told him that he was going to bleep up his entire family. So then Luka, lost his cool and got into his face and got his second technical.
I hate that guy.
Luka or the other guy?
No, go Batanza.
Yeah, Batanza or whatever.
He's one of the worst people to watch in the NBA, just from a character standpoint.
Apparently they were arguing in Serbian, and that guy told him he was going to bleep up his whole family. So Luka is like, I had to stand up for myself. So the NBA agreed and took away his technical. But it's bad news for him. Like, he can't really get another one the rest of the year, or else he's going to get suspended.
What did you say? Say it one more time. What did he say?
That he's going to bleep up his entire family. Yeah. I will give since we're just doing a little NBA news, I will give a hat tip with Tyrese Halliburton. One of my favorite tweets last night when he said, I was going to text all my Kentucky friends, but they all think they're Arkansas alum now. They all think they went to Arkansas. That was pretty good. He riled up a lot of Kentucky fans in the replies of that one. As, of course, Tyrese Halliburton went to Iowa State. Iowa State put the belt to Kentucky's ass, and Halliburton fired off. Went to text the guys who played at Kentucky about this game and forgot they think they're Arkansas alum now. Because all the players, of course, followed their allegiance with John Calipari. We'll talk some more tournament, some college basketball coming up after the break. Stick with us right here on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the VOLS or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Fall fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Good morning, sports fans. It's Aiden Sidoti with your Talk Sports update. The number 10 seed Lady Vols saw their season come to an end Friday night, falling 76-61 to 7 seed NC State in the first round of the NCAA tournament as Talasia Cooper put in 24 points. Tennessee wraps up the year 16-14 in Kim Caldwell's third season in Knoxville. St. John's is heading back to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999 as the Red Storm knocked off Kansas 67-65. Dylan Darling delivered the moment of the night, hitting the game-winning layup as time expired to send St. John's through. And back to John Cody and the P team in the White Claw studio.
Outside of Tennessee taking down Virginia and Rick Barnes getting to his fourth straight Sweet 16, Sam, Maddie, Bubba, what have you found to be the most interesting storyline from the first two rounds, from the first weekend of the NCAA tournament? Is it Florida going down and the fact that a repeat champion will not happen and that a defending champion continues to falter? I think I saw that only one defending champion has even made it past the second round. Going way back since like 2006 or something. 2007, like is what Bear had put out. The Bear, the stat guy. Sam, what was your biggest storyline of the NCAA tournament?
I mean, it's definitely hard not to go to that Florida one. I think, to me, though, just continuing the trend of talk about defending national champs not really being able to continue to get into that second weekend, but I think just those double-digit seeds and somebody like Texas just being able to go out there and make a run. You know, I think those double-digit seeds are always kind of the teams that people just keep their eye on because they can get hot, and they're just using all of that momentum that they've kind of been using over the last couple weeks getting into the tournament and now getting hot from the first four and on. I think those teams are just kind of the live wires, kind of can really make some things happen.
So Chris Falca put out Gators add to this historical note. Only one defending champ since 2007 has advanced past the Sweet 16. But I don't know if that makes sense because UConn went back to back. So I don't know if that is accurate.
I'll tell you a storyline that has not been talked about enough. High Point, which is historically and stereotypically known as a very spoiled school. Sorry to anybody that goes to High Point or went to High Point. But they flew their students on a private charter out to the game.
Yep, that was cool. High Point tried to show up and do everything they could for the team.
They showed up.
Yep. And they played Arkansas close. They balled out. High Point, the best mid-major performance as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's even a hot take. They might have been the only mid-major team.
Was great.
Okay, yeah, St. Louis was really good. They didn't give Michigan much of a game in that second game, but obviously Michigan a different weight class than Arkansas. To me, that might be my biggest storyline of the tournament is just that mid-majors not a good tournament for them. It's only the second time in NCAA tournament history where the Sweet 16 is made up entirely of power conference teams. Only the second time in history. The only other time was last year. So this is 2 years in a row where none of the quote-unquote Cinderellas have even made it to the Sweet 16. It's a bad feeling whenever Texas is kind of the underdog that everyone's rooting for. Texas with the largest athletic department in the country. That's your underdog. Now, I will say Iowa changed the math on that a little bit last night, beating Florida. But even them, of course, power conference team themselves. Not a lot of upsets. Not a lot of Cinderellas to get behind and root for. Now, with that being said, I will say this is probably the best Sweet 16 I can remember. When you look at the actual matchups and the teams, like this is a really, really good Sweet 16 with some really good games. Duke taking on St. John's, banger. Michigan State, UConn, banger. Iowa, Nebraska, not what we thought with the highest ranked teams or highest seeded teams, but that's going to be a bloodbath. That's going to be fun. Illinois, Houston, going to be really good. Tennessee, Iowa State is going to be a slobber knocker. Michigan, Alabama, we'll see. Texas, Purdue should be fun. Arizona, Arkansas should be awesome. Like, this is a really, really, really good Sweet 16. I hate that the tournament kind of had to die with all the upsets, but I've been saying this for years that I would rather have the best teams playing the biggest games when it matters. That's how I've always felt. We're going to test that out this year because, you can maybe look at Purdue, Texas, Michigan, Alabama, and say, whatever, but the rest of them should be really, really, really good games with teams that matter. I mean, Michigan State, UConn, those are two programs that really matter. Duke, St. John's, Duke versus Pitino. That's something that really matters. Coach Cal going up against Arkansas, or, taking Arkansas up against Arizona, That really matters. I think we should get a really, really good Sweet 16.
I know you don't have like the Cinderella story of one of these mid-majors that's making a run, but like I do feel like people are acting like the tournament is just completely dead now, and like we still had Duke on the ropes against a 16 seed team. You still had
Michigan too.
Yeah, you had Michigan on the ropes. You had Arizona on the ropes against Utah State last night. Like you had High Point going out and beating Wisconsin. You had, I just think there's been still a lot of instances of like those mid-major teams playing those guys close. I know that they didn't make it all the way into that Sweet 16 and kind of make that prototypical run that you see from somebody that you don't expect. But like, to me, it does kind of feel like the narrative has just been mid-major basketball and the gap is just completely ruined and March Madness is just all chalk now. Like it's maybe a little bit more chalky, but I don't think the competitiveness is gone in those games.
100%. I've enjoyed this tournament a lot. You haven't gotten the upsets per se, but like you've gotten some really good games. Like Vanderbilt, Nebraska, like I said, that's as good of a tournament game as I've ever watched. Especially for a second round without like huge stakes, without like, a Final Four being attached to it or whatever. Like that was awesome. And that game felt like it really mattered. You've gotten some really good games. I don't think the tournament's ruined by any means. I mean, I'll be interested to see what the TV ratings say and like what the interest is coming up for this next week because, you really didn't lose anybody outside of Florida, right? Are there any other big teams that have gone home that we're going to miss? Not really, right? I mean, Gonzaga, I guess, but like if you're losing Gonzaga but grabbing Texas, I think that's probably a net positive for interest and eyeballs. Everybody else that's here is kind of who matters.
Yeah, I feel like everyone left brings a big entertainment factor.
I mean, you could make the argument that the 9 of the best 10 programs in the country. No, North Carolina's not here. Which North Carolina is going to be a whole new wrinkle with them because
just like standing, you're saying like perception of.
I just mean like if we're ranking best college basketball programs, I think they still have a seat in the top 10.
Historically?
Yeah, if you're taking just everything into account, like if you're just saying, hey, rank the best programs in the country.
No question.
They're not. They haven't been there since losing to Kansas in the championship, but there's still a top 10 program. Yeah. And you'd probably say Gonzaga is a top 10 program too. So and Florida's kind of on that cusp. They probably get the rub since they won a title last year. But that stat's been funny too of just like how random the tournament is. Well, because now all of a sudden they're looking at Todd Golden, who we said was some like genius, and he does have the 6-0 last year, but outside of that, he is 1-3 in the tournament.
Speaking of UNC, what are they going to do with Davis?
I think they're going to fire him.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, I think they're going to call Todd Golden. And I think that we're going to do a little bit of a musical chairs here is kind of what I'm bracing for, because if you're North Carolina, you want to go out and you want to hire a big-time coach. And I do think if you're Todd Golden, now that you're not in the tournament anymore, it becomes easier to talk to a different coach. You know, Nate Oates maybe gets called as well. Like, North Carolina should go big game hunting.
They should go hire the guy who just beat Todd Golden.
They might.
Todd Golden.
Yeah, no, they might. And
the guy who just beat Todd Golden with his worst player or his best player going 0 for 9 from 3.
Yep, no, they might. But I imagine if you're North Carolina, you go for a champion first, or like a proven guy. And
that guy's not proven.
Well, I know you're saying that guy's. I know you're saying that guy's a champion because of D2. And look, I called him Kurt Signetti at the beginning. So like, hey, I'm not saying that would be a bad idea. I just wonder, especially if they lose this weekend, is 1 year as a major coach and one Sweet 16, is that enough to get the North Carolina job? Maybe, because basketball is not the same as football. And we might see a Kurt Signetti effect, right? Where you look and say, nope, being a winning coach is a winning coach anywhere. And this guy's got it. Maybe they would.
What about Jay Lucas? A lot of talk on Jay Lucas right now.
Yeah, no, that guy, his first year at Miami, right? Yeah. That was a pretty good run for them and kind of returned Miami basketball kind of back to relevancy.
Biggest win differential in college basketball.
That's a really good coaching job for him. I think he'd run into the same thing of like, is that enough? Is 1 year enough to get the North Carolina job?
But again, like, you're looking at a young coach who just did an outstanding job in recruiting and got your team a first-round win.
Yep. And they were a fun team, and yeah, it was a big turnaround. But again, if North Carolina does come open, which I think they will, that's a big-time blue blood. That is a school that matters. That's a top 10 program that I think Lucas, I think this guy at Iowa, I think those guys are going to be really good. I think Golden has proven he's really good. Nate Oates, of course, has proven he's really good. I just wonder, where they start on the list and how far they work their way down. Do they just go big game hunting? Do they look for somebody with like Carolina ties, or what do they do? Because if I'm them, you would hope there would be some drop off after Coach K. John Shire is not going to be a big drop off. He's going to continue to have Duke at the top level. So they need to kind of go find somebody, ideally somebody that's young and energetic that can keep up with him. Duke's maybe been the second or third biggest storyline for me, just because they've not looked good. Now, they find themselves in the Sweet 16, but they have not looked good really in either game. They were on the ropes against Siena, and I thought TCU gave them all they could handle for the majority of that game. For about 35 minutes of it, I thought they were on the ropes, and then they pulled away. Now they play Pitino. And if you're Rick Pitino, this might be the moment you've been waiting for.
Yep.
Like, as you got sent to –
He said that too.
He said what?
I mean, he was talking about it yesterday, about how ironic it is that now he gets to face Duke and how there's so much importance in this game. He was going over the play that he had drawn up in the final few seconds to win it, to beat Kansas. And all everybody could talk about was this storyline that Rick Pitino gets some revenge against Duke.
I mean, it's kind of like, he got sent to Elba. Right. They sent him away, and he's come back like Napoleon did and regained power. But like he is trying to have his moment here, and knocking off Duke and John Shire in the Sweet 16, getting St. John's to the Elite Eight. That'd be a pretty big statement. That'd be kind of awesome if it was St. John's versus UConn with the Final Four on the line. That would be a bloodbath. I don't know how good St. John's actually is watching them. Like, they still can't shoot. Like, Kansas just played pretty brutally themselves yesterday, or else Kansas would have beaten them. But, like, St. John's, they disrupt you on defense. That's what they do, but they still can't shoot. So, I don't think they're going to beat Duke, but, hey, maybe. Maybe.
What a storyline it'd be if you get Rick Pitino versus
UConn. Yeah, versus Hurley.
Hurley.
Can't
think of names this morning.
Just that's what happens, man. The early mornings, people think
yes.
people think we make it up or whatever.
15 times already.
You get a little bit of that fog. First thing in the morning, you start forgetting stuff that you easily know. It takes a little bit to get to it. But I will say, like if we run through the list, you could say maybe 7 of the top 10 programs, 9 of the top 12 programs in college basketball still represented. Only people I feel like are missing at the party are Carolina, Florida, and Gonzaga. Everybody else still kind of alive. The biggest coaches, I mean, you throw in Pitino, you throw in Calipari, Sean Miller. I mean, that's been a name that's mattered the last 15 years. He's here.
Do you have much belief in Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I still think. I mean, I guess Alabama. I think Michigan will dominate Alabama. I think they'll kill them.
I'd love to get Sean Miller against Arizona.
That'd be great. Yeah,
that'd be hilarious if he goes and beats them, and Arizona's team that knows they have to get past the Sweet 16 and like this is their year, just can't go beat their old coach.
Sean Miller going up against his old coach, with Texas versus Arizona would be fun. You could have the Pitino Dan Hurley death match. That could be great. You could have Tennessee versus Alabama.
Yeah, that to me would be the greatest matchup. You get revenge of what you saw this year, earlier in the year when you had Bediako and the whole situation. And now
and then they come to Knoxville and steal one from you.
Right.
I mean, as a Tennessee fan, yes, sign me up. I would love to get a chance to play Alabama in the Elite Eight. But yeah, you got a chance for that. And then, just a Houston, Illinois, the Sweet 16 game almost to me feels like the Elite Eight game because I feel like whoever wins that game is going to be a heavy favorite over either Iowa or Nebraska. But hell, Iowa, Nebraska is a death match in itself. So I think you get some really, really good basketball. Really good basketball. Didn't get the upsets, but the tournament to me, as good as it's ever been.
You have a lot of faith in Illinois.
I just think, I think Illinois is pretty good. I mean, I think they're going to give Houston everything they want there.
Houston better
Would you
this
like
year
to tell me
last
I'm right,
year?
John, about Illinois and Kansas? Remember when we had that?
Yeah, no, yeah. I acknowledge the Kansas take was bad. The Kansas take was real bad. Now, let's see what Illinois does against Houston.
The bet was who would get further in the tournament.
Oh, was that the tournament? Was it that was the bet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. When we make that bet.
Good on you for taking accountability.
Well, I'm asking for clarification now because I do remember I said Kansas was a team that could make a deep run, and I said
there's no chance.
Kansas
sucks.
And that was true. That was true. Now I will say, had they beaten St. John's yesterday, I would have think they would have had a chance against this Duke team. So they lost on a buzzer beater, which I'll take a little bit of a maybe not a moral victory because they looked terrible. I mean, they looked awful yesterday.
What was Todd Golden doing on the Iowa go-ahead shot, too? Full court press with 2.5 seconds left in a 2-point lead.
Yeah,
Well,
blew by him.
Not 2.5 seconds. It was like 9 seconds. Because they
hit the shot with 2.5.
Yeah,
maybe, I guess
2.5. There was like 7 or 8 seconds when they took the possession.
Pressing up 2 in that situation is wild.
I thought that was dumb, and look, I know he's like maybe close to death's door or whatever, but I thought Bill Self and Kansas completely butchered the end of that game too because they had 4 fouls to give, and they used them so quickly. Like they could have. I don't think Pitino and St. John's was necessarily aware of that, so I don't think they would have come down and gotten in their motion or their action very quickly. You could have waited till 7 seconds left, 6 seconds left before you took that first foul. Then all of a sudden, St. John's ain't getting a shot off because you can take up 6 seconds by strategically using those other fouls. They went way too quickly and then put themselves in a position where they couldn't play aggressive defense because they had 16 fouls and St. John's was able to blow right by them. At the very least, you keep that last foul to give. That way, in case you're beat on the drive, you bump them and foul them around the 3-point line. Instead, they used up all the fouls and got beat to the rim. What the hell were they doing there? I thought there was some bad coaching. Golden, I guess maybe you just wanted to make sure that they couldn't come up and get something comfortable, but they came up and got chaos, and it was a perfectly designed play. It was a perfect drive and kick out to a big guy who stepped behind the line and drained that three. It looked like a really good play by McCollum there. I mean,
it's a lucky three.
Lucky in what regard? I mean, it was wide open.
No, it was wide open, but he was backpedaling.
That's Ray Allen.
Under 100% was Ray Allen.
Did you think Ray Allen against the Spurs was lucky?
No, because he practiced that shot.
Well, you don't think this guy's ever practiced a step back three?
That wasn't a step back. He was
he took a dribble backwards.
If you don't know where the corner 3-point line is, which is the hardest place on a basketball floor, backpedaling and having to shoot under duress, which is what he did, not because of contest, but because of time. Very, very, very lucky shot. But a very good shot. Take it for what it's worth.
It was a wide open corner three to win the game. I don't think it was lucky. I think it was a great design, and the guy hit it. I don't know what his percentages were. I don't know if they drew it up for or whatever, but I think any team would take a shooter having a wide open corner three for the win.
I shoot that shot 90% of the time. I tell you what, I would have missed it in that moment.
Well, you're not a D1 basketball player.
I could be.
You could not be.
Me is 100%. You put me on high point. I could have scored a few points.
Your club basketball team got better after they benched you.
No, that is true. That is true. Yeah, I started my first 2 years. All of a sudden, I went to the bench. Now we're a winning program. I don't know what happened.
They put your ass on the bench, and all of a sudden they got good. So, I don't know if you could have been a D1 player.
No, not for me. But the shot in itself, in that moment, with that much pressure, backpedaling, 2 seconds left, the moment at hand.
That's what March Madness is.
The best.
Now, what was it, Fulgarius, or however he said his name was?
Fulgueras, I think.
Fulgueras. Yeah, I don't know what kind of shooter is he?
He was a good shooter last year out of the portal, but I don't think he's been as good this year.
41% last year at a smaller school, and then, he's been 32%. But
Tennessee wanted that kid.
Did they? I remember that name. Mm-hmm. I remember that name. Another big guy we could have used out there.
Storyline we haven't talked about is just on the note of Todd Golden, is how bad the coaching has been throughout March Madness, just as a whole. There's been a lot of mistakes throughout the tournament.
What other ones stand out to you other than the Golden press and I thought the Bill Self fouling was really bad.
I think the timeout usage throughout March has just been horrible.
Them giving Cronin a tech last night as the game was slipping away. They're only down 9 with 5 minutes left. That was pretty weak. All he did was clap.
I used to like him. And then he did that interview, what was it, a month ago?
Yeah, he's a jerk.
He yelled at some reporter.
It actually made me like him a little bit more, but they let me down. I thought they were just as good as UConn, but UConn just had a better coach, and UConn just made better plays.
I'd love to see a Dan Hurley fight.
Maybe Izzo's got a little fire left in him.
Between those two.
But, we might get Hurley versus Izzo, and then Hurley versus Pitino, or Hurley against Duke. I mean, that blue blood bracket is delivering. Any program that matters. I guess, Sam, when I was counting them, I said 9 of 12. There's only 3 missing. I guess we probably still have to call Kentucky a top 12 program.
There's no question.
I guess they can't make it. They've only made it to the second weekend once the last 7 years, Matty.
You can't say UNC is a top 10.
UNC played for a national championship just 3 years ago.
Hold on. Kentucky is probably, outside of Duke, the most historic program in college basketball.
Well, I don't know if I'd call them more historic than UCLA, who won 10 titles. But
we said historically. I asked you historically. You said yes.
And UCLA, I think, is more historic than Kentucky.
Then put Kentucky at 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, but those teams are still.
You're questioning whether they're top 12.
I'm just saying, they can't make the second weekend anymore, brother. They've made it once the last Pope's 7 years.
That's why Pope's gone. A lot of changes in Lexington are coming. A lot.
We'll dive into that after the break. Stick with us. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Download the free Fan Run app and take the best Tennessee sports conversations with you wherever you go. Fan Run Radio, the flagship station for Tennessee fans.
This ain't no wishy-washy, limp-wristed, kale-eating, half-ass sports radio station.
We're your in-your-face, truth-telling, say-it-loud, flag-waving, face-painting, hardcore, bring the noise, causing a ruckus, don't give a damn sports station.
Sports talk that doesn't just hang up and listen.
For the fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Get some.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. I'm happy to announce that our free stump grinding promotion for Fan Run Radio listeners is now extended to March 31st, 2026. If you've got trees in your yard that need to come down before they fall on your home, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes and mention you heard our ad on Fan Run Radio, and we'll get rid of that problem tree for you and grind those stumps for free. Call us at 865-384-2012 or check us out online at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The segment's brought to you by SM Athletic. If you have any uniform or equipment needs for your sports team, or any screen prints or embroidery needs for your business or organization, give SM Athletics a call. You'll get excellent customer service and great products at a fair price. Don't chance it with unreliable mega stores or online orders. Trust a local brand. Shop local. Shop with the people who help support Fan Run Radio. Give SM Athletics a call today at 966-3434 or online at smathletics.com. Obviously, Maddie, I was being a little tongue-in-cheek there with Kentucky as a top 12, top 13 program. But the fact does remain that they have only made the second weekend once in the last 7 years.
Still a top 5 program in history.
Sure. Like I said, I was being a little tongue-in-cheek there. But they have been struggling, and they haven't made the Final Four since 2015. So, I mean, they are on quite a drought when it comes to their standard and their expectation.
Well, they have no recruiting class coming in. Pope's done a terrible job with recruiting, but he's done a terrible job coaching to begin with, even with what he has had. There's no doubt. I mean, I'd be shocked if he still has the job. I mean, I think it's pretty inevitable at this point.
You think they fire him this year after year 2?
Yeah. I mean, he should have been fired weeks ago.
I think I lean towards him getting a year 3.
No, I doubt it. I think it's inevitable.
Sam?
And that's only because of what will be available. What you have this year with the possibility of Golden, the possibility of Lucas, the possibility of what you call the new Kurt Signetti, it just makes more sense to go out and get a guy this year.
I find it tough to fire him just because I feel like almost firing somebody at Kentucky after 2 years almost kind of would scare off other candidates of being like, oh God, I if I don't, go make the Elite Eight in the first year or something like that, then I'm getting run out of town type of thing.
I mean, especially because he's supposed to be like one of their own. Like he's supposed to be a Kentucky guy.
I just think a lot of people in today's day and age, they give them one more year and then you just throw more money at the problem type of thing. But
I do feel like they're in a very similar position as like the Lady Vols, though. And like, as a program, they've had more success in the Lady Vols recently because, if you go back to the Final Four drought for Tennessee, it goes back even further. And Kentucky does have the national championship the year they did make the Final Four. But I will say it's similar in the sense that, like, it ain't like Kentucky's got a spending problem. Their roster, they boasted about it. They laughed about it after they beat Purdue in an exhibition game. Wow, spending $22 million is great. Why doesn't everybody do this? I don't know what the exact number is that the Lady Vols have spent, but obviously we know they're one of the highest spenders. They got a coach after year 2 as well that hasn't necessarily lived up to expectations, much like Mark Pope did last year. She made a Sweet 16. She made a Sweet 16 last year, much like Mark Pope did. He won one more game in the tournament than she did this year, but both of them in pretty bad spots. Both of them come in as a 7 seed and a 10 seed. The parallels are there, except, Pope is a Kentucky alum and they want him to succeed, whereas I don't know how many people are still left in Kim Caldwell's corner wanting her to succeed.
Two things. One, I think if you ask Kentucky fans, they're going to tell you to walk his ass out the door. That's one.
I'd say they're split. I'd say it's about half and half.
There's no way. There's no way. I agree with you that they want him to succeed because he's a former Kentucky alum. But again, success is success at Kentucky. There's a standard at Kentucky. How many incoming recruits do they have this year? Do you know?
You said none. So, I mean, like,
Zero.
I know that they have done it.
Cal has the 5th best class, and almost all the top 50 have committed already.
Now, what I will say about that is Kentucky fans were done with the big recruiting classes. See, they wanted this. They wanted the veterans. They wanted to get grown-ups playing basketball because they were tired of it, relying on freshmen that, take months to pan out. And if they don't pan out, then it's just a wasted season. They wanted the grown men basketball.
You need a combination of both. Right now, they have neither. They have neither because they haven't hit the portal yet.
Now, they cried about losing, Quaintance and losing Lowe. They didn't have their point guard. They didn't have their big man. And they've cried about that. But with Quaintance, like,
you can't cry about that. You knew coming in that he had an injury.
Like, he was coming off a torn ACL, and there was questions about his dad, like, and how they even get down, like, in terms of, like, how much want to they have to play college basketball. So, no, I don't give them a pass for that at all. Now, losing their point guard, that was tough. But, yeah, Quaintance, I'm not going to cry for you there. And I'm not going to cry for you for not having depth when you spent $22 million.
You talked about Todd Golden earlier, right? Looking at a big job at UNC. Just as big as looking at a job in Lexington.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, when you said who's available, like, would you look at those same names? Like, if you're Kentucky, is it Todd Golden? Is it Nate Oates? Like, I know for a while teams dreamed of getting, Billy Donovan back or Brad Stevens back. Brad Stevens is completely locked in as one of the best GMs in basketball, if not the best GM not named Sam Presti. I don't think he's going anywhere and getting back into coaching. Maybe you could make another run at Billy Donovan, although, hell, at this point, it's been 20 years. Who knows if he can still coach college basketball. Bruce Pearl is a free agent. Like, do you call him?
No.
Nate Oates? Like, I don't know where Kentucky would go. Maybe they just go out and try to get the up-and-comer. Maybe they call McCollum and just say, hey, we'll give you all this stuff, and you can come here and be a winner. I don't know.
What are the rules? I forget because it's different in every league. What are the rules in terms of talking to other coaches while you have a current coach employed?
I mean, it's frowned upon, but, like, it's not illegal.
Right. They're not going to get fined for it.
Yeah, no, you can do whatever. It's just it's frowned upon.
It's worth having a conversation.
You work the back channels for which one of those? All of them?
All of them.
Like, hey, Nate Oates, how do you feel about Lexington? Which the running thing about Nate Oates is that he's stuck in Alabama. He can't leave because of his custody agreement with his ex-wife. Everyone's always said Nate Oates can't leave.
Yeah. And Alabama's the only place that would pass something like Betty Occo playing, although they ended up not. It's the only place you could pull that off.
I don't know what you do if you're Kentucky, which makes me think they're just going to keep him. But it's one of those situations. People have been asking me, which is kind of weird, like what I think about Kim Caldwell. Like I was at a house get together, a dinner on Saturday, and
Was Kim Caldwell?
No, but people were asking me what I thought about Kim Caldwell. Like, brother, I don't know. I'm trying to watch basketball, but I was like, you know what? I'll say it like this: if they fire her, I understand. If they give her another year, I understand. I'm 50-50 on it.
Really?
I think both things are defendable, justifiable actions. Like, hey, if you want to give her another year and try it one more time in the transfer portal with some better character people that want to be here and want to play, okay, run it. Let's see what you do. If you want to fire her and go hire somebody else, I am completely on board with that too. I think that's how I feel about Mark Pope in Kentucky. Like, if they want to bring him back, okay, I get it. His team was banged up. Whatever. The roster didn't gel.
You could say the same thing about Caldwell.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
the Ruby Whitehorn situation.
Well, that's my point. Is if you want to bring Pope back, I get it. And if you want to fire him and say you can do better, and the brand is too important to let it slip, I get that, because I do think the Lady Vol brand and the Kentucky basketball brand is pretty similar.
Well, I mean, I think they're two completely different situations. I have a lot more, and again, I understand the standard. I have a lot more flexibility for Caldwell, given what she's done from a recruiting standpoint, that Pope has not done at all. And you have a spending budget for Kentucky that Tennessee doesn't even come close to.
Well, I think they do come close to it when it comes to the women's side, though.
Sure, but relative to what the number is and what you've been able to do and produce from it, she hasn't hit the portal hard enough, but the recruiting's been outstanding.
Well, if
she's one of the best classes, if not the best class last year.
Well, sure, but if all those players leave,
right, it means nothing.
Right, and there is talk that like the whole roster might turn over.
Right.
So if you know
Big O stand.
if you lose the big freshman from this year and you're starting over trying to sell everybody with the freshman class this upcoming year, I don't know how excited that gets people, because both coaches are going to be in a similar situation heading into year 3 of like, hey, it's do or die time. Like you got to produce big time. We're talking not only make the tournament and like win a game or two, but like you need to win it as like a higher seed. Like the Lady Vols, if you bring Caldwell back, the only way people will be pumped about that is if she's a top 4 seed in the country. Same for Kentucky. Like they want to get back at the top of the SEC too. It's not just win tournament games, because winning tournament games is important, and it can be a nice cologne. Like Sam, Bub, I don't know how you feel, but like to me, this basketball season kind of saved by winning these 2 games. Like Rick Barnes, the regular season, it didn't go as good as you wanted, but hey, winning these 2 games and getting to a 4 straight Sweet 16, me and Rick Barnes were all right. I got no beef with Rick the way he coached this year, because you got to the Sweet 16, everything's good. If Kentucky did it as a 7 seed and got to the Sweet 16, then got knocked out, I don't think that's enough to put Cologne over their stuff, because it's a little bit more rotten. You know what I mean? Like the stench is a little too strong to just spray Cologne over. Kim Caldwell and Mark Pope, they need a bath. They need to scrub up and actually come here and be good. Rick Barnes has been sweating. He can just throw a little Axe body spray on. He'll be all right.
Kentucky's running into the risk of turning into like what Indiana basketball is right now, of just like, the former great program where if you kind of stay all right with just mediocre seasons for a little bit too long, like the shine of that program wears off.
I see. I think it's a catch-22, because I think you also don't want to be the team that starts firing coaches early and starts churning coaches out, because if you start getting to the 5th coach that's failed, all of a sudden that becomes less appealing to go hire a big name. So like you can't accept mediocre seasons, but you also can't fire coaches after 2 years. So it is kind of just a catch-22. You really need Pope to be good.
I like that, Sam. Well, I go Indiana, and then Syracuse became Indiana. Now they're going to become Syracuse. But yeah, I like that. I'm not familiar with Kentucky assistant coaches. Maybe you are. But every head coach has to have a Gabe Lazo, which is the only reason they get the recruits they do here. Caldwell. I mean, he is a recruiting genius, and he's a huge reason why O is staying. I don't know how Kentucky
for Kentucky for so long, that was Coach Calipari, which is why you see all those players just go to Arkansas now.
Women's basketball, men's basketball. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is for Pope. Do they have a guy? I mean, I don't know how it works over there, but here it's Gabe Lazo. Shout out to him. He's done an incredible job.
Pope's not that recruiter, and there's nobody on that staff. So I mean, like maybe they go out and try to find somebody that could be on that staff that they could hire as an assistant coach. Maybe that's where they throw their money versus a buyout to him.
Purely
they try
from
to
a recruiting perspective.
But I don't think they want to do that. I think they want adults. Like that was the whole thing. That was part of the reason they didn't want Calipari, was that they wanted to get where the game was headed, which was with older players, transfer portal players, get seniors out there that play.
Who has a better season next year, Kentucky men's basketball or Lady Vols women's basketball?
The competition is just so much lesser that I'll say the Lady Vols, but like I can't say with a lot of confidence, but I think they're both in a similar position.
Yep.
I just think it's easier to be good in women's basketball than it is men's.
Yep.
Hour 2 in the books. We'll kick off hour 3 with some headlines. Stick with us. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Malone at Knoxville Smiles. Has it been a while since your last dental visit? If so, I'd like to invite you to come see us. At Knoxville Smiles, it's our vision to provide the best dental care in town in a relaxed, friendly environment. So if it's been a while and you've been putting it off, don't wait any longer. Come see us at Knoxville Smiles. You can schedule an appointment online at knoxvillesmiles.com or by phone at 865-539-1776.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the VOLS or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends, everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Round 3.
The world's greatest radio show. The world's greatest radio show in Tennessee.
Power Rankings, Tuesday Trivia. John Reed and Cody going wild, no Olivia. Wood grain on my leather seats. I got the whole team eating like I'm Johnny Eats. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Talk sports while I'm chewing a Zen, ayy. Talk sports while I'm riding to work. All the ops take a ride in a hearse. East Knoxville. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Morning booming.
Hour number 3 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. I got to say, Rick Barnes hitting Jacoby Gillespie with the equivalent of a pause. Hey, yo, that's crazy. That was essentially what Rick Barnes did to him last night as Jacoby Gillespie said, we're roommates on the road too. We just can't get enough of each other. To which Rick Barnes said, you might want to retract that statement, as the players are laughing. That was pretty good from Rick Barnes. Funny guy. Real funny guy. Hour 3 headlines. Let's get them, P-Team. What we got?
Go ahead, Bubba.
Wake up, Bubba.
There's just so much stuff. We'll go with some quick baseball stuff here. We have Chase Dollander named as a breakout star for 2026. We've got the Pirates reassigning their top prospect Connor Griffin to the minors.
So wait, say that one more time about Dollander. He's been named what?
ESPN has added him to a 2026 young guy breakout.
Oh, okay, so not like the one guy, but he's like on a list of multiple guys. I saw a lot of buzz for Andrew Fisher too over the last couple of days of people.
Fisher hit Mason Miller, who starred in the World Baseball Classic with a 102 pitch, and he just
I saw
that bad boy right.
And that's the clip I saw, and I saw a lot of people saying that like Fisher is like for real, and like they're really impressed with him. So you're going to have a real influx of balls in Major League Baseball over the next couple of years. We knew that with Vitello and the way he recruited and the way he was developing guys, but they're all coming. And they're going to be there, and that'll be fun.
We have Randy Arozarena apologizing to Cal Raleigh over the World Baseball Classic spat.
It was a little aggressive from Arozarena to come out there and cuss out Cal Raleigh in 4 different languages. Like
he didn't shake his hand.
I know, but like that's like you kill an ant with a sledgehammer.
Wait, are you taking Arozarena's side?
That's like killing an ant with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, for the vibes.
Like it was
the vibes.
Yeah,
it was disrespectful, but like you didn't have to
No,
cuss.
it wasn't.
If I'm your boy,
if I'm your boy, I would feel like, hey, okay, man, I want to shake your hand. At least, like, don't leave me hanging. If I reach out my hand to you and you don't shake my hand, I'm going to take that as like,
shake my hand.
I'm going to take it as a little bit of disrespectful, especially like on TV in front of the country, in front of everybody.
That's the point. It's patriotism at its finest.
Well, I know, but I put aside my patriotism to try to dap up my boy.
Wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
We're
That's what
best
happened.
friends, but when we're on opposite teams fighting for our countries, we're not friends.
No. We don't have to be friends. But everybody, basketball, football, or maybe not football because there's no like before the kickoff, you're not huddling around. But every basketball game, you dap up your opponent. Everybody gives each other a fist bump before the game.
Right. He texted Cal Raleigh before the game and said, I'm going to try to shake your hand when I come up to the plate. And Cal Raleigh said, do not put me in that position. And he went up and he did it anyways.
Well, that's different.
He was making a political purpose, a political statement, and it didn't work.
A political statement?
Of course it's a political statement.
What do you think the political statement was? Like we're shaking hands,
No,
unity?
but you're trying to
Well, that's
cause
even
that.
worse if Cal Raleigh's like, we hate anybody that's not American. That's even worse.
Rose Arena got exactly what he wanted. If he shook his hand,
Is that
it would
true
have
that
been a story.
Ariza Arena texted him and Cal Raleigh told him not to?
That's a true story. It's a very true
I
story.
hadn't heard that yet.
It's a very true story.
Is that out there or are you just trying to –
no,
okay.
No, what do you think? I talked to a Rose Arena this morning? A Rose Arena.
Kind of.
You went to the game.
You were in Miami. Hell,
I went to all the games.
You
They
know
were
Zay
fantastic.
Flowers. You know Jalen Carey. Hell,
know
you're
them
going
all.
to an NBA game with a former friend / teammate or whatever the hell tonight. So hell, you know people, Maddie. I didn't know.
Just foreign relations policy.
I just hadn't heard that Ariza Arena had texted him and Raleigh said not to, because I do think that changes my opinion. If Raleigh told him before the game, hey, I'm not going to shake your hand.
Don't put me in that position.
Well, yeah, if he told him that, then yeah, that's different.
But it shows you that Rose Arena it took a political stance here. Maybe political is not the word, but certainly a national stance trying to create a storyline or a narrative, and it didn't work.
Well, maybe he was trying to show the fans back in like Seattle, like, hey, we're boys.
No, stop it. Stop it. Where's your patriotism?
If I was a Seattle Mariners fan, I would be pretty upset about this.
Cal Raleigh was on the bench.
That's true.
What
was he? 0 for 19?
If I was a Mariners fan, I'd be pretty upset about this.
Man, Will Smith wasn't that much better either.
But no, if they texted and he told him not to do it, then I have a different take on it. I didn't know that.
Matthew Fitzpatrick, winner of this past weekend's Valspar Championship at Copperhead, expressed his frustration over slowing play partner Adrien Dumont de Cassar.
When did he play with him? Like on Saturday or Sunday, or do you know?
No.
I didn't watch one hole of this, Sam. I've been watching a lot of golf. I didn't watch one hole of this tournament this weekend.
I feel like some people kind of let these couple tournaments leading up to the Masters slip through the cracks a little bit sometimes.
I looked at the projected odds, and none of the real heavy hitters were there, and it was March Madness, so like I didn't.
Not a fan of Brooksy.
I just don't consider him a heavy hitter at this point. I mean, he's still a name, but like he's trying to get his game back. It's not like he's out here playing now he is playing well right now, but I'm saying he's working on his game. He's not established at this current time.
Brent Snedeker was in the mix for a while, which was pretty fun.
That was a blast from the past. Like
Yeah.
he sucks now, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's just been hurt a lot
Okay.
and just hasn't really like gotten back to playing consistently. But
I saw him.
He blew up on the back nine, but he was tied for the lead for a while.
Oh, he blew up on the back nine on Sunday?
Yeah,
Okay.
he shot like 5 over.
I was going to say, I saw he had, it was either Friday or Saturday, he had moved into near the top of the leaderboard.
He was hitting like his tee shots though, just driver off the deck, like he wasn't even teeing it up.
teeing?
Yeah,
Nice. I did keep up with the leaderboard up until Sunday, and then it was over by the time I thought, because I kind of looked at Fitzpatrick on Saturday thinking he'd probably be my pick to win.
I didn't watch much of it either, but I did flip it on for a second, and I saw that like 6 guys were tied for the lead at one point, and I was like, all right, that's pretty fun.
That's pretty cool.
But it didn't keep me locked in.
Yeah.
Also from the World Baseball Classic, the Ohtani jersey from his Grand Slam 13-0 win over Chinese Taipei / Taiwan sold for a record-breaking $1.5 million.
So that's a record for jersey sales?
For Ohtani, yeah. I think the previous one was like 126,000,
Oh my
and it
God.
had almost 300 bids.
I mean, Ohtani's obviously really, really good. He is a living legend right now. Getting anything that he has in any big moment would be pretty cool.
I have a trivia question for you.
Okay, let's see.
What was the final bid that the Ohtani 50-50 ball was sold for, the one that was hit in Miami when he achieved the 50-50 season?
I have no clue what that ball would sell for. If I was guessing, I would say how much balls cost? $2.5 million?
Bubba?
I would say 4.3.
You knew the answer. Yeah, it's probably got it.
Good job by you, Bubba.
4.39. Yeah.
I just, Otani's a living legend, here, but like in Japan, I would imagine he's God status over there already. So like, it's gonna be inflated.
It was some Japanese investor. Or something.
I would imagine he's God status over there. Like he could sell any of his stuff for, 5 times what other players could.
His bets too.
And NFL news: Jackson Smith and Jigba, woo, break out the alarms. $168.6 million across 4 years.
Whoa, does that just happen right now?
It happened in this past hour.
Okay.
Or since.
How much?
168.6 across a 4-year extension.
How much guaranteed? Does it say? I mean, I imagine it's in the 100 million. It doesn't really matter, but Jackson Smith and Jigba was the best receiver in football last year.
More than 120 million guaranteed.
Okay, so I imagine that's the all-time record for a receiver. We know that all these contracts go up, every year. They just get more and more expensive as the salary cap goes up and more money gets in. But I don't know if Smith and Jigba is actually the best receiver in the NFL, but he played like the best receiver in the NFL did last year. He was all-pro, and he took the Seahawks and won a Super Bowl. So I'm glad he got to cash in.
Is this going to cause NFL to increase the salary caps for teams?
They do every year.
To a point where there's going to be another potential lockout?
No, it's been on a steady rise. This is just a deal in line with that. Like every year it goes up because there's just more and more money coming in. Where did it end up at this year, Sam? Like over 300 million, right?
Yeah. I don't know the exact number.
So really, Bubba, this is going to be in step with like what your stars, their percentage of the salary cap. Like teams are still kind of just mirroring that. Cost of living goes up, rent goes up, type of thing.
He's been staying in Miami for the offseason.
That's a good place to stay.
Yeah. I shook his hand at the Heat game 2 weeks ago.
You say, what's up, Jackson Smith?
Yeah.
You think they call him JS?
Why are you looking at me like that?
What'd you call him?
Well, I thought you were going to say his last name, too.
No.
What'd you say? Just say, what's up, man?
I just said, hey, man, can I grab a picture? He said, no, but I'll shake your hand.
Just said, I'm good.
He was sitting courtside, and I was sitting.
Were you working?
No. I was a fan. 4 rows behind him, I was like walking past, and I didn't want to bother him too much. I give him credit. I could have said no completely. He was respectful about it.
He probably didn't want to take a picture with you because then everybody's going to want to take a picture with him.
Right.
I didn't see you as a ask a guy for a picture guy. I didn't see you for that.
I didn't ask him for a picture.
You said you did.
No, I didn't take a picture of them.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
So. Yeah, I didn't take you for a guy to ask for a picture.
No, when you get a player like that's great. Come on, it's as good as he is.
Yeah. What good would that have done? Taking a picture with him.
I would have sent it to you.
You get a couple.
Look who I saw.
You get a couple Instagram likes out of it.
No, I don't post. No. That's for the archives.
You want to frame it off and put it on your wall? Like, hey, here's where I met Jackson
I have
Smith
never
and Jigba.
posted a photo of me and any athlete or celebrity ever on my Instagram, except for ones I went to high school with. Ever. It's never happened. They go into the archives.
I had a buddy who was like,
Maddie's got a Polaroid wall on his apartment with all the athletes he's met.
Yeah,
I had a buddy who was randomly at like a thing in like some small like North Carolina town a couple like last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and looked over and he was standing next to Jerry Seinfeld.
Is she 25?
And then not 25. Jerry was with a 16-year-old brother. It was legal in New York. But it just he was just hanging out with Jerry Seinfeld and asked him for a picture, which I was like, Jerry Seinfeld is probably the last person I would ask for a picture, or like one of the last people, because I just feel like he's probably going to be a jerk about it.
That's why you asked for it.
Like Larry David, probably wouldn't want to ask him for a picture because he'd make you feel really awkward about it. But my friend said that Jerry Seinfeld was very nice about it and took a picture with him. Didn't make him feel weird about it.
And then last one for me before I turn it over to Sam here. Kennedy Chandler. Stars in his debut with 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 0 turnovers.
Can't count them if there's none of them, Bubba.
0 still a number.
You can't count it, though. How do you count 0?
0, 1, 2, 3. You just name it.
Yeah, but like, let's say I have beans out here, Bubba, and you're counting beans. Do you just look at the empty spot on the table and say 0?
You say there's no beans. It's still a unit of measurement, even if it's none.
I don't know if you can count 0. I don't know. I can count 1.
You can do this. That's 0.
Well, that's just showing me that's just a number. So that's just
What is counting, John?
Are you saying zero is not a number?
I'm not saying zero. Well, zero is not a number. Isn't zero considered something different? But either way, you can't count zero. Like zero's not. Is it an integer I'm looking for? Like zero's not an integer, right? Or is it? No, it is. Okay. Is zero a number? Either way, you can't count zero.
Nobody starts counting at zero.
That's not true. I mean,
nobody in the world starts going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I've seen some of these kids that get hit in the head so much, dropped as a kid, they start counting at zero. Okay,
everyone's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Speaking of being hit in the head, also last one, Cam Scatabo talking about CTE and asthma. Had to apologize for his.
They
poor
came
joke.
and yelled at him.
The audio clip of it is even better.
I think him
Do
and
you
Jackson,
think CT is real? Nah, it's just an excuse.
him and
What about
Jackson
asthma?
Dart are going to become just streamers. They're just going to quit football, and the two of them are just going to go into the streaming world.
And you're gonna watch him, Maddie. And
I
you're
know
gonna
I don't.
watch
I
him.
see him all the time. I hate it. Bothers me. I don't know why. Everybody's a streamer. I don't like it. Everyone's a streamer these days. Everybody's got a microphone. They're always doing interviews on the stream. What is with people? Ugh.
Attention is currency today, my brother.
I know.
Attention is currency.
You know what it is? It's people like me and you that watch it too.
I don't really watch podcasts like that or interviews like that, to be honest. I am not a consumer when it comes to a lot of that stuff. The men on the street stuff. Whenever
Yeah,
they
exactly.
I don't really watch that.
It's like somebody said to me last week. I was pissed because I spent $55 for 2 vodka cran singles in Miami, and I couldn't believe how much it was. He goes, because schmucks like you pay it. They do it because they can. They're right.
Well, that is the truth to that. It's
Right.
like, every now and then I'll be scrolling and there'll be some guy asking some girl some sexual question,
Right.
and I'm like, scroll. I don't want to hear this answer. This is making me
I
uncomfortable.
bet it was in Fort Lauderdale. too.
Everyone's chasing the Hawk Tua girl. Everyone wants to be the next Hawk Tua girl. That's it. Any other headlines we need to hit, Sam?
Dan Orlovsky on Get Up this morning said he thinks Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in this class.
You think that's more about Ty Simpson being great, or is that more about him looking at the other quarterbacks and being like, Mendoza's solid, but nothing special?
I feel like Dan's really trying to get like a
viral clip.
Yeah. Or just like a moment of, hey, if Ty Simpson does kind of pan out like we kind of thought he would in the first half of the season, then I'm going to look really smart here.
It could be, just a case of a little hyperbole where he's really trying to drive the point home that like he likes Ty Simpson, that Ty Simpson's going to be elite.
Ty Simpson stock, yeah.
Well, even if he's like, hey, Ty Simpson's elite, you can say that without saying he's the best quarterback, because now he's got to be better than Mendoza. But if he's like, hey, Ty Simpson's worthy of being the number 2 pick in the draft, or hey, I'd even take Ty Simpson number 1, that's kind of saying the same thing, but that's really just driving the point home that Ty Simpson's an elite quarterback prospect, because he might end up going, in the teens. Now I still think that every team is going to want a quarterback at some point, or at least these teams that need a quarterback are going to have to trade up, because the interest almost always gets drummed up. Maybe it could benefit the Titans at 4. Who knows? All right, go back to headlines. Anything else we need to hit?
I was just going to say baseball rankings come out, Tennessee at 21.
We'll talk a little Tennessee baseball coming up after the break. Stick with us. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey, VOLS fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you'd miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issue. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info, so all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD, to save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Let's talk a little Tennessee baseball. A series win. A Sunday where you won a rubber match. A rubber game. We've been wanting to win rubber games, you know. We've been wanting to win these Sundays where the series is on the line. Now, I didn't want that to be the case where we had to be in that situation against Missouri. This was a series that I looked at beforehand and thought, you know, this is one you need to sweep to, you know, make up for the Georgia loss in Game 3. You didn't do it. But I will say, all in all, Sam, after losing the first game 4-8, turning around and winning the next two was a pretty nice consolation.
Solid bounce back from the guys. Obviously, a team like Missouri, you'd like to be able to sweep, especially getting them at home. But, yeah, I think kind of what we've been searching for all season with this baseball team has just kind of been responses to maybe some bad games from us. And so I think, you know, you get that one that obviously wasn't the outcome that you were looking for, and I think you bounced back well to go out there and win that series. And, yeah, you salvaged a bad start, and you're able to go get a series win. And like you said, Sundays haven't really been treating us kind recently.
Now, what I will say about Missouri is it does seem like they are not as terrible as they usually are.
I think they are a little better.
And that was even before, like, our game. Like, they were playing, you know, Auburn the weekend before. Auburn's a top 10 team. They lost 2-0 on Friday and lost Game 2. 10 innings, they lost 4-3. So, like, they did get swept by Auburn. In Game 3, they let go of the rope. But, like, they lost 2-0 and 4-3. So, like, I don't think they're the same amount of pushover as we've seen from them in the past. Go ahead, Bubba.
I think Game 2 really showed a lot about Elander and company as, one, he switched up the lineup to where, you know, finally took Jay Abernathy out, who's been struggling.
Jay Abernathy, to me, Bubba, kind of feels like I always say it during the baseball preseason, or the non-conference, I should say. No matter what you do, I want to see what you look like against SEC play. You know what I mean? Like, and Abernathy was hitting the ball really good against non-conference opponents. I was like, you know what? I need to see what he does against conference play before I kind of buy into this. And then he got to the conference and just couldn't hit. So, yeah, he took him out of the lineup.
Another thing that was questioned about the lineup too was, Newstrom. Thought he played fine in the series that he did, earlier this season, but we just haven't really seen him. But it was good for Trent Gridlinger to finally get, a chance to start. And then also for Gabe too, Cameron Appenziller, really dominant coming in as a relief, where he pitched 2/3, had 7 Ks. I think only 1 walk, 2 hits, no earned runs. So future looks pretty bright for him at pitching.
Yeah, that guy looked as good as advertised. I mean, he's supposed to be a big-time prospect, supposed to be a big-time stud. He looks as good as advertised. 7 strikeouts, as well in those 4 2/3 innings. So, like, he was locked in there. And then on, Sunday, your pitching was awesome again. Blanco took you almost all the way through 8 innings, gave up 1 run. You can win a lot of game threes. You can win a lot of Sunday games if you're going to get even close to that level of pitching from him. But I thought, game 3, the offense did enough there for you too. Like 7 runs is enough to win most of the time against overmatched opponents. Most of the time. Wouldn't have been enough against Georgia, of course, last week, but your pitching was better in that game. Which Blanco had a really good start against Georgia too. I mean, he had a no-hitter going into the 5th inning.
Yeah, I think he's a really good Sunday guy for you.
Yep. You just hope that you've gotten enough. If I was judging Elander, and look, I know that Elander would probably tell you the same thing. I'm a smart enough baseball fan to understand that, like, these early SEC series don't mean as much as, peaking at the right time. I know we're building towards May and June. That's the expectation of this program. So, like, and dealing with a pitcher and an injury, and there's probably a regiment you want to stay on, it just sucks, seeing him burn Arvidsson in game 1, while you're trailing. I know they probably want to pitch him on Friday. That's kind of been what they've been doing with him. I would have liked to have had him later on, against Georgia as well, like, not being available on Sunday. But I understand they're trying to ramp him up and get him to full strength by the end of the year.
I know it's early, but have we bought into Elander yet? Where are we on his likability right now?
I like him because he's one of us. Like, he's been here long enough to where you can say he's a Tennessee guy, and he is really beloved by his players. I do still like that he's a holdover from the Tony Vitello era, but he hasn't let his personality shine through yet, and I wonder if that is just who he is, and we'll never see that, or if I wonder if he's trying to be a little bit more measured in year 1, where he doesn't want to come across as trying to do a Tony Vitello impression. I don't know, but that's left a little to be desired. But that's also because we're losing a couple of these games that we're not accustomed to losing. If we were winning and he was acting that way, I wouldn't care. If I was winning and he was quote-unquote boring, wouldn't mind. It's just the fact, really, to me, that we've dropped a couple games that we're not necessarily used to. Like losing to Missouri, that was a little gross.
Losing to Georgia.
Georgia's a good team.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
hold on. They're good this year. Since when is Georgia good at baseball?
They've been good the last couple of years. They were a super regional team 2 years or last year.
Number 8 at the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, that to me wasn't about losing to Georgia. It was about blowing a 5-0 lead and kind of like letting the bullpen implode. That was my problem with Game 3 against Georgia. Losing that series by 1 run on Sunday, I can live with that. But even Vitello lost that series to Alabama a couple years ago to start SEC play on the road. So I don't freak out or try not to freak out about these early season series because, like I said, at Tennessee, much like the basketball talk, hey, Rick Barnes, Sweet 16, yeah, go ahead and pin it in. Tennessee, regional, super regional, those are what we're playing for, trying to get to Omaha. Winning the SEC is nice, but now that the conference is so big and the schedules aren't even balanced and fair, that doesn't even really matter as much to me. Just play good baseball.
They have Vanderbilt up next, who's completely just flipped their script. I mean, relative to Vanderbilt baseball standards, 13-12, they have Tennessee up next. It seems like their basketball program gets good, their football program gets good, and all of a sudden they've forgotten about baseball.
Baseball was pretty good for them last year, but then they kind of fell apart, after the SEC tournament.
Not enough money in Nashville.
Maybe there's not enough money. I got a couple of Vanderbilt friends, or at least online friends that I've followed for years that love Vanderbilt baseball. And every other game or every other day, midweek games included, I just see them complaining about Corbin, saying it's time for him to hang it up, just that the game's kind of passing by.
What is an online friend?
Just somebody that, like in this case, it's just somebody I have followed on Twitter, and he's followed me for 10 years. And we've never really met in person or hung out, but like I've seen his takes. We've interacted enough that like I consider him an online friend.
I was just,
Yeah.
Not like Cody's online friend.
No, not like I don't pay him to be my friend. This is just like, hey, I'm familiar with you. I know a weirdly amount about your life, seeing how I've never met you, but
that's sweet. That's cool.
Yeah, we're all online. But yeah, no, that was a rough weekend for Vanderbilt as they get swept. But again, Mississippi State, kind of like Georgia, a top 10 team. An exclamation point for Vandy getting beat 17-7, getting run ruled in Game 3. So they're going to be coming in, kind of licking their wounds here, and that of course follows up a midweek loss to Indiana and a Sunday loss to LSU. So they're riding a 5-game losing streak. You would imagine they fix that against Tennessee Tech tomorrow, but either way, vibes not high right now at Vandy. Sam, do you think they're worried about like missing the tournament over there yet? Has it gotten that bad for them, or is it just kind of like, hey, let's just get into SEC play and try to start racking up some wins? We'll be all right.
I feel like it's probably a little early to start panicking that much, but yeah, I mean, I do think
one game above 500 ain't a lot of wiggle room.
It's what we're talking about with Tennessee is just like the consistency factor. So I think Vandy's probably feeling that to the max in terms of just you maybe got it one game and then just next game after that, you just look like a completely different team.
Yeah, and then you look at their 2 SEC wins against LSU. I'm not sure how impressive those actually are. You know what I mean?
Big chance.
Expectations for this weekend. I mean, I feel like every series we go into, my expectations to win 2.
Yeah.
So like I expect Tennessee to be winning the series in Nashville. Sweep would be great. Obviously, it would kind of, if you come out 6-3 after your first 9 games, that's a huge statement. You'd feel really good. But 3-3, you go in there, you win 2, you come out 5-4. I think you live with that.
These next 2 weekends are huge. Just you can go get a road series win at Vanderbilt and then come get an LSU team at home that, hasn't looked as good as you probably thought they were going to. That's suddenly a little bit more of a gettable series. And then, you just want to be peaking kind of going into that series at Mississippi State, who kind of looks every bit as advertised right now.
Did LSU remain unranked? I assume they did, but I wasn't sure.
I believe so.
I knew they had fallen out of the rankings last week, and they didn't necessarily cover themselves in glory this weekend. But I do know,
still, yep.
Yeah, I did know they at least won 1 at Oklahoma, the first one, and then kind of blew the Saturday game to lose that series. I think they gave up 3 runs in the 8th to lose that series, if I remember correctly. Tough for them. But yeah, no, if Tennessee can get to 5-4, because that's the story right now in the SEC. Through just 2 weekends, no one has distanced themselves. The top of the league is 4-2. Now you got a handful of teams up there. I think 8 of them, 7 of them are 4-2. But no one's distanced themselves. You're all right. If you are concerned about just SEC standings and where you stack up, like you'll be okay.
Do you know what section your basketball tickets are in, John?
I haven't got any tickets yet for basketball. I've gotten my plane ticket. I haven't gotten my basketball tickets.
Where are you staying?
I haven't worked that out either yet. I'll figure it out. I got the plane ticket because those start filling up and getting more expensive, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you got to travel to Atlanta or Nashville to get on a flight. But I'll
direct though.
I'll figure out it is direct, but not from Knoxville. I will be flying into somewhere then into Chicago. But I looked at the weather; it's gonna be pretty cold in Chicago this weekend. I think we said it was gonna be 60 last week, but it's down to like 39, 41, somewhere around there. Why did you ask about basketball?
Well, 112, 113, 114, 320, and 321 are your official Tennessee sections.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a buddy whose boss is a pretty big donor that's hoping he can score something for us. Hopefully. But it'll all work itself out. It'll be fine. I don't panic about it. I'm fine with going up to the last minute, basically. Hoping that some good listeners or good friends.
Where do you get your tickets?
A variety of places. Sometimes people come through at UT for me. Sometimes they come through with some good seats. Sometimes a listener will have some. Sometimes my buddy comes into some, or sometimes I just bite the bullet and buy them. I just kind of wait till the last minute because of that. Everything will work itself out, Maddie, if you just believe.
I'm worried about you.
I've made the mistake in the past of buying the whole booklet because typically
the whole booklet
of just buying, the whole sessions and like the Elite Eight tickets are usually pretty cheap. They go down just because people just go home and people don't really stay for them. You go from 4 fan bases to 2. But the Thursday, the Sweet 16 tickets are usually pretty tough to get. Elite Eight, not so much. Sweet 16, kind of tough.
This would be what number Sweet 16 attended in person for you?
For me, I've been to the last 3. So this is 4th. I went to, let's see, I didn't go in 2019 when we lost to Purdue. I didn't go to that one. I didn't go in 2010 either. I was in college. Honestly, this might just be the 4th. I went to some second-round games before then, but I don't think I ever went to a Sweet 16 game. Yeah, so this might just be the 4th.
Hopefully it's the best one.
Hopefully a 3rd straight Elite Eight. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
But you would stay, I assume, for the Elite Eight.
Yeah. I'm chasing that high, brother. I'm trying to kick down the door and get to a Final Four.
Oh, and what a high that would be.
Then my watch could rest. Then I would quit being, if I could see that, I could quit having to do it. If we get to a Final Four and I'm there to see it, I don't have to go every year. I'll be fine. But I don't want to miss. I'm too pot committed now, Matty. It's like poker. I've got too much money in the pot. I got to
understand that.
Got to keep putting a little bit more in just in case it pays out.
I get it.
Got to be there.
You play poker.
Although I'm not. Say that again.
I didn't know you play poker.
Everybody my age at least dabbled into it during the boom back in the day. Back after Chris Moneymaker, everyone played at least a little bit. But yeah, I played about a month ago. Got back on the old felt.
Start inviting you to my poker games.
Okay, yeah. I'll come hang out with the kids. Invite me over.
Kids?
Yeah, the kids at the poker table. You guys ain't been in the back rooms I've been in.
Hold on.
You ain't cut the teeth I have.
If you haven't been to the Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale,
it's not a back room if it's at a damn casino, Matty.
Oh, that's what you mean?
Yeah, that's mean
Listen,
like
I don't walk into a Chinese restaurant nearest me and walk through the back door. So let's go play some poker.
I mean some shady games, not a damn casino.
Yeah. I know what you like.
Yeah, I'll come play. Invite me.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I'm going to be there at the Sweet 16. Hopefully there for an Elite Eight game. Tennessee, Iowa State. It's going to be a battle. Does Tennessee need to win this game, Sam, to kind of save the season for you, kind of like we talked about? Or is it already kind of all right, we're good to go?
It's don't get embarrassed in the game, and maybe like if you go out there and you lay an egg in this one, I think maybe my view on the season changes a little bit.
Okay.
But if we lose a game by 5 points, I'm not going to be burning the season down.
What's your level of fear that we do get kind of embarrassed? Because I think Iowa State's the type of team that can embarrass you. Like if they get playing well, they pour it on. Now they kind of twisted the knife on Kentucky after the game and said, "Yeah, we knew when we got up they'd quit." Which I thought, man, that's tough.
Love that.
It was tough between that and the Tyrese Halliburton tweet. It was a pretty rough day for Big Blue Nation.
I'd give it like a 3 or 4 out of 10.
Okay.
Iowa State they're like a streaky team in a good way. Like they can just go kind of murder you real quick.
No, they're a dangerous team. You do have the distinct possibility of getting blown out in this game. Now I think you can play with them, but I think Tennessee has to play really good. But yeah, like if they get going, they're starting to hit shots, and then you start turning the ball over, they can bury you. They did it to Kentucky. Kentucky went from up 12 to like down 20 kind of in the blink of an eye when it comes to actual real-time basketball or game time of basketball.
I just struggle to feel like Tennessee gets blown out against teams that kind of also play just really physical like they do as well.
Say that one more time.
I feel like we don't really get blown out when we go play a team that's structured similar to us in terms of just physicality. Like,
Houston,
I feel like we kind of answer the bell.
Houston's kind of the only one.
Yeah.
And I don't think Houston punked you last year in the Elite Eight because of the physicality. I thought it was just like they were just long and like just swallowed up Zakai and Lanier couldn't hit a shot. Like I don't think it was a physicality thing. I think we were ready there. I just thought we couldn't hit a shot and our guards just got swallowed up with their length. Iowa State doesn't have that same level of like length, right? Like or length and physicality, right? Like they play aggressive when it comes to like pressing, but they're not like necessarily got like the Houston defense where it's going to be like 5 guys that can all go out there and defend, do they? I feel like watching them. I've noticed a couple of.
I mean, you heard the Mark Pope quote leading up to the Iowa State game, like Otzelberger could go grab 5 guys out of the YMCA and they could turn them into like an incredible defensive team, basically. So
I guess I just don't look at them as like all bit like Houston last year. I didn't feel like they had any weak spots on the defense. I don't feel like they got 5 like premier studs defending. I do think they've got a couple guards that maybe you can attack a little bit. As a team, they play great defense. I just mean more so from an individual level.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's not right. I just feel like Owe at least could like do some things against them. Like Owe had the athleticism to kind of get what he wanted yesterday. It was just nobody else could. And maybe that's just making a snapshot off of one game. But
Nate's gonna have to be really good in that one. You know, no one's got to answer for a 6'11" guy that can go out there and handle like he can type of thing. But if you get even just, I think, 15 minutes of bad Nate Ament, it's going to kind of avalanche pretty quick. I think he's got to put together a really, really solid game.
And I guess maybe what I'm trying to say about their defense is like they, to me, rely more on chaos and turnovers versus like Houston last year. It's just like, nope, you're not getting a good shot here. Like we're just going to defend and cut the water off. Like to me, Iowa State was like, you might get a shot here and there, but we're going to try to turn you over and we're going to try to just swarm you nonstop. Maybe that's what I mean.
That would check out. Iowa State 4th best turnover rate defensively in the country on Torvik. So,
whereas I didn't think Houston had to rely on the turnovers last year. I just thought that was a defense.
They just kind of choked you out.
Yeah, they're just going to beat you up for 30 seconds of the shot clock. You're going to struggle to even get a good look.
The tournament is all about moments. It's all about who the best player is that typically you just don't see on a nightly basis. Yesterday it was Boswell, right, with the big first half. You needed 3 threes in the first half. Without those, Tennessee doesn't win. Tennessee averages 6.5 threes a game. You needed 8 in order to win that game. For Nate particularly, he needs to have a solid game, but it's not going to be the Nate that's going to end up being the X factor in these games. You know what you're going to get from Gillespie, and it needs to be solid. You know what you could get or should get from Nate, but it's going to be the 1 or 2 guys that you're not expecting that end up winning you games. And each game, it's going to be different guys. Like I said, yesterday it was Boswell. But in a game like this, with as much as how Iowa plays, you're going to need the guys inside, the Estrellas, the Jalen's, and the Paras to be at their best.
Well, I agree if you're saying X factor, but I kind of disagree.
X-factor.
Right, but I kind of disagree
players.
that Nate's going to have to be a star on Friday. Like, and Gillespie's going to have to be a star.
Gillespie needs to do what he did in the game yesterday, and Nate needs to be pretty darn close to that.
Yeah. Both those guys are still got to be really, really good.
Yes.
But then you're still going to have those role players step up.
Both have to be solid.
Yeah. Both are going to have to be really good. Like, they're going to have to combine for 40, 45 points for Tennessee to win.
Wow.
Is how I feel about it. Like, sitting here on Monday. Now, if there's a huge outlier and Estrella scores 24 or Boswell scores 15. But
that's what it's all about.
But when I'm sitting here looking at the game on Friday, like, if you ask me the path to victory, one of the keys has to be, like, Ament and Gillespie are the 2 guys that we've thought they could be this year. Like, when we were excited about this team in the preseason and after the Rutgers game and heading into the Houston and all that, like, those guys have to be special. This team only goes as far as they're going to carry them. And that was kind of the case yesterday against Virginia. Like, Ament had to be really, really good in the second half, and Gillespie had to be special. Even then, you still had to have Boswell, knock down the 4 threes and play good. But to me, Ament and Gillespie got to be in the 40s in this game to really have a chance.
45. I'm gonna hold you to that.
45 is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
24 from one, 21 from the other, 27.
21 from Gillespie yesterday. Yeah.
27 and 18, something like that. But 40, 45. You had 37 yesterday, but I think you're going to have to go up a level.
So 18 and 20 doesn't cut it.
40's been the magic number all year.
Yeah.
Right, but I think it's just a higher quality team. I just think you're going to have to – those guys are going to have to be special because I don't think the role players are going to play as good in this moment. I hope Boswell can come back and score, 13 points, but I'm bracing for a 5-point Boswell game. Just personally, with the pressure of the moment and the pressure of the defense, I just think it's a star game.
Oh, look at what the rest of the way is. If that's what you're saying against
I feel that
Iowa
way,
State,
yeah.
right?
No, I mean, I think the same thing going forward.
Right. You got Michigan, you got Arizona, you possibly have Arkansas, and then you're facing the Dukes or the Michigan States or the UConns of the world.
My take has been that, if we're going to make a deep tournament run, and I don't think we're quite at deep level yet. It's deep is winning another game or a game after that. My thing has been it's going to have to be on the backs of Gillespie and Ament. Those guys are going to have to be special. So 45 is kind of the number I have in my head. Last call on the other side. We'll wrap up this Monday edition of Talk Sports. Stick with us.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. We're excited to continue our free stump grinding promotion with Fan Run Radio this year through March 31st. If you've got problem trees in your yard, give us a call and we'll come out and cut them down and grind the stumps for free when you mention you heard us right here on Fan Run Radio. Take it from Russ. We'll treat you right at ECR Total Landscapes.
That's right, Evan. I had the ECR team out to Stately Smith Manor last year, and they took down a bunch of trees for me and grinded the stumps for free. Now I don't have to worry about those trees falling on my house, and my yard looks much better. Do what I did. Call ECR Total Landscapes.
Thanks, Russ. Call us today and we'll come out and give you a free estimate. Our number is 865-384-2012, and our website is ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Hey, Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey, VOLS fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go VOLS.
Last call here on the program. I am not a doctor. Nobody is in here, but Sam, do you think that the update that Joshua Jefferson is getting an MRI today at 11 a.m., do you think that's a blow for him playing? Because that's how I read it, is that if you're having an MRI on Monday, that means the injury is worse, or they're fearing that it's at least bad enough that there's some damage there.
Yeah, I think they were kind of just saying that it was a sprained ankle and he might be available just to keep teams honest, kind of in terms of like preparation, kind of how Maddie was talking about in terms of a scout and everything. But based on the look of like what he looked like on the bench, he didn't look like a guy that was going to be ready to play, at least in our game. You know, maybe down the line if they advance past there, but he doesn't seem like a guy who's going to play in our game.
Yeah, to me, like if it was just a sprained ankle, you don't have to get an MRI for that. You just kind of know, like, hey, I'm tender. It's swelling. I hope I feel better in a couple days.
I thought you said you weren't a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying, to me, that's how I would feel. Like, if I go out there and I play basketball and I sprain my ankle, I know what it feels like. I'll just stay off of it for a couple of days. But if there's something else, I'm like, actually, I should get some tests ran on it. I feel like that'd be a bigger cause for concern.
Couldn't there be an argument to be made that we'd want him to play
and be hobbled?
I mean, take up shots, poor defensively.
I mean, okay. I like where you're thinking. You're at least thinking outside the box. I still probably lean towards no, but if he was out there, 70%, and that kept them from, being able to run and really press, and they had to slow their style of play down a little bit, maybe there'd be some benefit to that.
Just something to think about.
No, it is something to think about, but I would still probably, like, with Tennessee, would you still not rather have Nate Ament out there at 85%? Like with his sprained ankle? You'd still probably rather have him out there, right?
That's a loaded question.
You don't like Nate? You don't like Nate's game? We ain't got nobody better on the bench.
I believe in Nate more than I think anybody does, just in terms of his potential. I cannot stand the lack of maturity from this young kid who's supposed to be the number one option on this team. Thankfully, it's turned hands into Gillespie's.
It's going to give me a good idea about what I can do, Jefferson said when asked about his MRI. As long as it comes back positive and it's not going to hurt anything in the future, I'll be happy with that.
We're all media people. We're not doctors. I can tell you what that means.
Dr. Thugonomics.
Dr. Thugonomics? Now, read it again. Read it one more time.
It's going to give me a good idea about what I can do. So as long as it comes back positive and it's not going to hurt anything in the future, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, he's not playing.
I guess that NBA future we talked about, maybe he's got that in the back of his mind. I don't know.
He's not playing.
Says he's been able to put some more weight on it. Some of the bruising is going away. Okay, we'll see.
He's not playing.
Cooked. You say he's cooked?
Cooked.
Zero chance?
You're media. You know what that means. You're media trained.
I mean, I do think that means he's not going to play. Like I said, the MRI in general to me means that he is worried that it's not just a sprained ankle, but maybe the MRI eases his mind, and he's like, you know what, I'll go out there and play on it.
This MRI is going to tell me what I can and can't do. Really?
Maybe if the doctor's like, yeah, you're not going to risk any structural damage playing on it. It's just a pain thing. He goes out there and plays. I don't know.
What are those people that like fake sue other people, like fake injuries, and they have fake doctors, write fake reports and, different things?
Uh-huh.
Maybe they get one of those.
Get an ambulance chaser out there?
Yeah. Was that what it's called?
Typically.
Yeah.
Typically the people that like get into car wrecks and then sue that. Yeah, we call them ambulance chasers.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we sit here on Friday, Sam, fair or not to say that all the pressure is on Iowa State in this game on Friday? Do you feel like Tennessee has house money?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Said it's Monday.
I said it's Monday, or what?
No,
Did I?
You said Friday. Today's Monday, unless you meant Friday.
I think I said as I sit here on Monday, it is Friday. House money is what I thought I said.
Anyways,
either way,
I feel like it is. I mean, this is an Iowa State team that I think has, been really talented in years past, and it's kind of been one of those teams that hasn't really made it over the hump. And I think Tennessee, a team that's kind of, at least going into the tournament, I don't think people nationally had a ton of expectations for this Tennessee team. It kind of felt like Virginia was everyone's trendy pick to go make a run versus Tennessee. And, now that you factor in this injury for Iowa State, I think, the playing field is leveled as best as it probably can be for Tennessee. So I think you just go out there and hope that you can kind of keep some of this momentum rolling.
Iowa State has never made a Final Four, just like we have never made a Final Four. Iowa State's last Elite Eight, the year 2000. That seems a little surprising to me with as many good teams as I feel like they've had over the last 15 years. The fact they've never kicked down the door for an Elite Eight is a little surprising. They've had 4 chances since 2014. They've gone 0 for 4. So I do think the pressure, I don't know if it's all house money for Tennessee, but I do feel like the pressure probably more on Iowa State's side. They're dealing with a little bit more scars than we are. Now, if an Elite game against Michigan or an Elite Eight game against Alabama, I would say the opposite. Like Tennessee would have some pressure trying to, overcome the program's futility in that spot. But in the Sweet 16, we've been pretty good in it the last couple of years. Iowa State ain't been good at it in 26 years. Okay. All right. There's maybe a little glass half full as we wrap up this show. Maddie, appreciate you sitting in.
See you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Some Tuesday trivia. Maddie said he wants to play.
I think I have a chance.
You might. You seem like a smart kid.
Here we go again with the kid.
That's what makes me mad. That's why I'm going to keep
Not
pushing
a fan.
that button between now and trivia. Between now and trivia, I gotta really get him all lathered up. That way he's going for 4 and 5 pointers. You're a fine young man, Matthew.
That's just as bad.
You're a stud.
I like that. I get that one a lot.
I appreciate you. Same for you, Bubba. Same for you, Sam. The Tony Vitello Show coming up next. Stay locked in on Fan Run Radio.